Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Phil's Recap and Review. This is going to be, we're just here for Halloween. We just wanted to have a couple of drinks, and we wanted to talk and enjoy the Halloween nonsense, so we figured we'd go live and have a little discussion with you guys. It's been a couple of weeks since Joe and I have been live, and we missed X-Sword Stone is too old for this shit. I'm too old for this shit. I went out trick-or-treating. I stole some candy. It's fine. I'm a little high on candy and vodka. It's an interesting combination, but we're here tonight to talk about, I think we're going to go through some of our favorite Halloween traditions, maybe when we were a kid, some of our favorite Halloween candies, and some of our favorite 80s and early 90s slasher villains from Halloween movies. That's basically what we're going to be talking about tonight, but we'll take any and all questions about any and all subjects, as we always do. When you're joined with us, we're lucky enough to always be joined by the live motherfucking chat show. And of course, I'm not alone. I have with me, as always on Sundays, my good buddy Joe Dirty Locks. How's it going tonight, Joe?
Goes good, my man. Goes good.
You're looking pretty and nice and clear tonight. You know, we got a new little setup going on. So as we're messing with knobs and whistles with the new place here and the new thing, we're messing with different programs capturing Joe. And I think I've got Joe at a much higher quality than usual tonight, so you can really see it. And we did.
Oh man, I'm such high quality.
He is, and we did dress up tonight. We both dressed up. Joe is dressed up as me, and I'm dressed up like Joe.
Yep.
We did it. I
combed out my hair.
He did, and I dreaded my hair for those of you that can't watch the broadcast, because this will also be available as a podcast on iTunes and Podbean and all the places you can find the audiocast. So, and that's the most important thing right now. So anyone that's listening
is clicking like and subscribe.
Oh, yes, and please, of course, on YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that like button right now, because the more people that hit that like button, the more people this will get out to at the moment. And we know it's Halloween night. You guys are all having fun. Hopefully you're in your little candy coma and enjoying your night dressed in whatever Halloween getup that you dressed up as. When was the last time, Joe, seriously, when was the last time you actually dressed up in something for Halloween?
I don't know, but I bought a couple of years ago, I bought a kilt for Halloween and for like Renaissance fairs, and I've only put it on once to make sure it fit, and I've lost weight since, so probably doesn't fit anymore. But you know what I always think about on Halloween, Phil?
What is that, Joe?
I think about one thing.
Shaving cream,
one
eggs?
Thing alone. No, I think about Madman Mars, Gary Eakin, and what he must be dressed as. That like he's like 6'6". He dresses up like all of them, like Mike Myers, like
Freddie Jason, like
and his impressive frame and stuff, like he's very scary looking. He being a kid in his neighborhood down in Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, Kansas, wherever the frickin'
that's a large sample side of places. And we got in the live chat, Sword Stone's like, Phil, you don't have to put the XX there. It's just Sword Stone. Like I've said many times, I'm very similar to a Ron Burgundy kind of situation. If text is in front of me, I can't help myself but read it. It gets me in trouble a lot, but it is a true action of myself. But Sword Stone, I will do my best. We got Gordon Shumway in the live chat, who is hanging out on Melmac trying to trick cats or trick treaters and eat some pussy tonight. So Gordon, thank you so much for jumping on in here and taking a break from your kitty cat chase tonight, and we wish you the best on Melmac, and tell Willie I said hey. So great to see you. We got AK in the chat too. We got Muhammad. Great to see you, Muhammad. Toast to you. We got Tracy G. I had 5 trick-or-treaters. I'm stuck with all this candy. So we were talking a little bit before we started about trick-or-treaters. I put the bowl out all in all, and it all disappeared. Joe was saying that someone probably came and took it. Probably.
First person.
Probably. Have you ever been that person with the candy? Just grab the bowl and pull it? I know I have. I've been that asshole.
I didn't do that when I was a kid.
I was an asshole. But not as many people left bowls out when I was a kid. I don't remember a lot of people doing that. I mean, remember 1 or 2 people doing that. I think Halloween, the best part when I was younger with the Halloween thing were the neighborhood war things. Before people brought in shitty things like Nair, when it was just shaving cream and eggs and stuff, there were some fun memories of big, huge neighborhood war. And then some asshole would bring in there and start spraying Nair in people's hair. And that just, it changed it from like a good, fun sort of situation to total dickery. That's crossing a line, Joe. You know, it's one thing to throw eggs, to throw someone down and throw eggs into their face over and over again. I've had it done to me. I've been on both sides of that. It happens.
I haven't been on either side of that.
You were never one of the type of people that went out and caused a ruckus, raised a motherfucking ruckus on Halloween night? No.
No.
What was your usual Halloween tradition? Were you just going out and getting candy until you were 19 years old, as long as you were able to go get candy? Yeah. As long as I remember in high school going.
I had a kid right now. I'd go around right now. 19, I'd still be ringing fucking doorbells.
You could rent one.
Just midnight. Fucking ding dong. Give me candy, bitches.
I remember.
Like, I don't know, I'm in diet. I'd be like, shut up. We got 10 more houses. And after those 10 houses, you know what I'd say? Shut up. We got 10 more houses.
Here we go. We got more people in the live chat. We got DJ Better. Great to see DJ Better. We got the King McKay in the live motherfucking chat. Great to see King McKay. Hopefully you're having a great evening. He said, eat some what? What are you talking about? Perfect timing, King McKay. You popped your head in at the right time. AK, great to see you. Gordon, you're welcome. Phil and Joe, thank you for streaming tonight. You are very welcome.
Everybody watch me eat
eat a what, Joe?
Eat a candy apple.
Oh, okay, I thought you said something else for a second there. Great to see LMR in the live chat as well. Oh, Joe, we get the empty seat for Joe. Let's see. Let's click over here. Oh, there I am. Okay, there I am. But yes, it's LMR. Great to see you in the live chat. I know it's a strange. We're streaming a little bit earlier on a Sunday evening than we usually stream tonight, because usually we're waiting after some show that isn't over until 10 p.m. So for now, we're doing a random time. Oh my God, that's gonna be so loud. Apple Taffy. Joe, you probably could turn your the gain on your microphone down just a little bit more on the main channel. You're feedbacking a little bit when you scream, and I don't want you to not be fully loud. Okay, I'm gonna mute you while you open it for a second here, Joe, just because the sounds of the crackling will drive me mad. Drive me mad. Okay, it's out. Joe's got his bar. Oh, you're not even on camera yet, Joe. Let's see Oh no. This is what you people have asked for this. I read your cards and letters and your requests, and basically this is what you guys want. You want to know. You guys all want to know. What did Joe think? What did Joe think? What did Joe think? Was it good or did it really fucking stink? This is called performance art.
This isn't even a candy apple. This is an ice cream.
Yeah. Wait a second. Wait. Cut the music, Miles. Wait. You're not even it. You promised a candy apple. What a fucking cheat. And you just pull out an ice cream. You pull out a friggin'. Oh, there it is. Okay. So is that like a Dove chocolate bar or some shit? Häagen-Dazs. Oh, I love those fucking things. Let's go in the live chat again. We got Santavia.
It's Halloween. You gotta watch me eat this. You're gonna watch me eat the whole thing.
Is that what we have to do? Is that the rules? Is that the rules on Halloween? Okay, let's switch the cameras up. Oh no, wrong camera. Oh no, Santavia Major is jealous of Joe right now. I think that's what most people are getting right now. We got Swordstone, Phil and Joe. If you think The Walking Dead is horrible, just try watching Fear the Walking Dead Season 7.
Way.
It's the biggest pile of monkey poo ever put on television. Joe, do you want to check out Fear the Walking Dead? Should we watch one random episode of Fear the Walking Dead next week?
I watched season 1 of Fear. I don't need to watch any more of that shit.
Didn't you catch up?
I watched season 2 too. I don't need to watch any more of that shit.
I think you caught up even further, didn't you?
First 2 seasons, that was it.
And then you're done. Negan is in the live chat. Joe, you just reminded me I have some ice cream in the freezer. So what do you?
Season 3. I don't think so though.
DJ Better trying to keep us on track here, going, guys, what the fuck are you talking about tonight? What we're talking about tonight is just Halloween silly traditions. Watching Joe eat candy apples and ice cream is part of the tradition of Halloween. But we're going to be talking about some of our favorite slasher movies. We're not going to talk about horror movies and scary movies as a whole. We're going to kind of focus tonight this year on the slasher era, the Freddy, Jason, Mike Myers, starting, I would say, with, you could say Norman Bates could be mixed in there too, and that was the start. But I'm saying starting with Leatherface would be like the earliest one on this list, going up through Chucky. Going up through the Scream guy, Ghostface. He's the last.
I would put the original zombie movie too, Night of the Living Dead, on there.
That if we're doing, but let's keep this to be more specialized in this. Let's keep this to 80s and 90s slasher villains. We can do like overall later, and we can talk about some of those people, like because I think we do need to talk about Norman Bates in Hitchcock and what he produced with Psycho, because I don't think you would have any of these other ones. You wouldn't have Halloween, which if you didn't have Halloween, you wouldn't have had Friday the 13th, because it's just a copy of Halloween at a fucking camp anyway. And then you wouldn't have had someone like Wes Craven influenced if you didn't have Hitchcock and all that kind of shit. And I just want to say Hitchcock as much as I can tonight in this episode. But basically we're going to be talking about those 80s villains, talking about what we like about some of them, what we don't like, what movie series have the best, our favorite of those particular movie series, because I think generally Joe and I have seen all of them, and who our favorite villain of. No.
Okay.
And who
Katie just walked in the room, burped, said excuse me, and then left the room.
She wanted to be part of the show for a second. She like
of all the things she could have done, she just walks in, burps, looks at me, goes excuse me, and then
that's
leaves.
What crows do, Joe.
Like what? Was that for the audience? What was that for?
The burp was a surprise. I was going to say something, and then once I got in here, I decided not to. And then the burp came out.
It was very eloquent.
Yeah.
It was an eloquent burp. We'll get back into the live chat here for a second. Studio 11 Live. Happy Halloween, Phil and Joe. Good times with all that candy. Swordstone says it's Joe's cheat day. AK says worse than season 1. And Tracy G asks the first question for our super chat. And thank you so much for that super chat donations, Tracy G. Let me pour you a shot for that. She asked, will we be reviewing the new season of Dexter? Joe, are you a Dexter fan, or have you watched the entire series?
I did watch the entire series. That was one of the worst fucking endings ever.
It was a very poor ending, yes. I didn't get as invested in Dexter.
That's why they're bringing it back, because they're like, we can't end it on that shit.
Yeah. So are you excited? Were you a fan up to that point of the series?
I was. The last season was a little weak, and I always hated the sister. I was always like, why is she still alive?
She ended up showing up on what was it, Intelligence with Sawyer from Lost, where he played someone that got like a computer implant and was like a Superman kind of stuff. I've seen her in a couple of other things, and she's not my favorite either. So I'm excited about it. I don't know if we're going to talk about it episode by episode, but I think once we both end up watching the whole season, we will probably have some sort of discussion about Dexter. I feel I'd be disingenuous talking too much about it because I have watched it, but I wouldn't call it one of my favorite series that I've watched several times. Excuse me. But we will both end up watching it at some point and have some sort of discussion about it at some point.
Yeah, some point.
Negan, when is season 2 of Only Murders in the Building come out? No announcement of when season 2 is coming out, but they did announce there is definitely a season 2. They announced that before the third to last episode.
That was a good show.
Oh, you caught up with it?
Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I was worried that I wasn't worried that you wouldn't like it, but I liked it. Whenever I like a show too much, it's not that I don't think Joe's not going to like it. I'm worried he's not going to like it, and then he's going to poke holes and tell me how much it sucks. And like I'm going, oh shit, I don't want to look at it. There's an episode of How I Met.
I want to see it through other than rose colored.
Right. There's an episode of How I Met Your Mother about that when it bursts, when your rose colored glasses burst and you see it for what it really is. But no, it's a very fun series. It's not to be taken too seriously, and I think all three of the leads really work exceptionally well together. And Steve Martin, I mean, all of them are great, but I think Steve Martin killed it, especially like that. This when he's drugged and he's on the ground in the elevator and doing all that physical comedy and stuff. I think it's some of the best work Steve Martin's done in a long, long time. I'm glad you liked it, Joe.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Awesome. That means in season 2, I'm going to bring you in for some discussions with it and stuff. So let's catch up with the live chat here. Corey Mitchell says, Wheel of Time, Dexter, Cowboy Bebop. We have some good shows coming out. We were talking a lot about that before the show started, about all the awesome shows that are coming out in the next year. We're going to be talking about our potentially awesome shows. Cowboy Bebop is one I'm excited about. I'm looking forward to.
I'm not. I didn't watch the first series.
It was one
live action Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, it's live action Cowboy Bebop.
Okay, maybe I'll probably watch it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how it's transformed onto live action. Phil and Joe, do you guys watch Succession? Do you watch Succession, Joe?
I watched the first episode like a week ago of like the season 1, and I was like, you know what? I don't think I want to watch like 6 people just be assholes to each other and the rest of the world. I just don't think I don't think I have that in me right now.
Yeah. No, fair enough.
A bunch of psychopathic rich people being dicks to be rich people can like all set.
Sounds like gossip.
I have dicks in my life and I ain't rich.
I know
so I don't want to watch rich people.
He's best friends with me. He has enough dicks in his life.
That's not it.
We got Merle in the live chat. Halloween 1 and 2 are amazing. Loved H2O. Haven't seen anything since then. We will definitely be talking about the Halloween movies. LMR says, I binge watched Dexter. That ending was very disappointing. We got Vala Morgores in the live chat.
I mean, just so we all know, there's not going to be too much to talk about here tonight because I'm going to get this right now, Phil.
Mm-hmm.
For anybody who's expecting some deep introspective from me from any horror movie,
you're not a big fan.
I'm not. The genre is something like I'd rather watch romantic comedy or just like the Notebook about piano, whatever.
The Notebook about piano, what
it is?
The Notebook,
chocolate piano notebook or whatever. Before I watch a fucking horror movie.
Wait, Joe, the chocolate piano notebook actually sounds like a literally delicious situation. That just sounds like it sounds like a dessert at the Cheesecake Factory or something like that.
Chocolate piano notebook. Whatever the fuck those movies are. Traveling Sisterhood of the Yaya Pants or whatever.
Great to see Merle Davis in the live chat. Tim F, great to see you as well. Tim F, awesome to see you, buddy. And no, Joe, it was not a good show. Succession is so overrated, says Tracy G. Wheel of motherfucking time, says Corey Mitchell. I'm excited about that. My good buddy Bridge 4 is going to be covering a lot of Wheel of Time stuff. So if you haven't checked out Bridge's stuff, he just broke down the most recent trailer for it. And he's going to be doing every episode breakdowns and stuff like that. So if you're not subscribed to Bridge 4, make sure you do that and check out his content on that series as it's coming out. Corey Mitchell says horror movies are dumb after you've seen them a few times.
And
after
you've seen one, you've seen basically everything.
And that's my thing with horror. I'm not a bit, I hate to say it like this in the beginning of a series we're going to be talking about this kind of stuff, but I think I'm not that far off from you. I don't really like scary movies or horror movies, and that's why
no real substance to them. Like Saw 1 or maybe Hostel, if you can call those 2 horror movies, which I think you can.
Yeah, in the blanket genre,
are like, but like once you get past. Like even like I don't know, like Dead Silent 1 and 2, is that what they're called? Or
no,
fucking
fair.
Like, they're all just so fucking like
formulaic, but
yeah,
in all that fairness, that is why I love 80s slasher villains, because they're on the verge of comedies. Because
no,
yes.
Only Nightmare.
No, fuck that. Friday the 13th comedy-ish. Halloween's a comedy-ish. Fucking Chucky is a fucking stand-up comedy.
Yes.
No,
yes.
they all try to be dark comedy, and that's what I love about those kind of horror movies. They don't take themselves seriously. You got fucking Joe Bob Briggs introducing them on Monster Madness, and that show, like they're just like
the first one of all the series though
are more serious.
Now,
Yes,
Halloween 1, Nightmare on Elm Street 1, Friday the 13th 1, Chucky 1. None of them, except maybe Chucky, were trying to be funny at all in the slightest. None of them were.
You mean the first ones?
The first ones.
Yes,
the
first
ones
ones.
that launched all of those series. None of them were. Then the second one, maybe they play with it in a scene or two, but usually it's around the third one where they're like, okay, everybody's seen this shit, time to start cracking the jokes and blah, blah, blah. I don't know if Saw ever really got there, but Chucky certainly went there.
Chucky was
Chucky went there. Nightmare on Elm Street went there.
Nightmare on Elm Street went full on there. I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street's a little bit different than the other ones in the sense that even in the first one, he had a little bit of, come on here, bitch, I'm going to kill you. Like there was.
He's a dream guy.
He's a dream guy. He talks to people. Robert Englund is this side of Brent Spiner from like a performer, you know. He could have been Data and Data could have been Freddy Krueger. Like I feel like both those actors are very analogous for each other. Watch him in Adventures of Ford Fairlane. It's one of my favorite underrated Robert Englund performances playing the antagonist to Andrew Dice Clay's.
Adventures of Ford Fairlane is great.
It's a really bad, good 80s movie. And Gilbert Gottfried is amazing in that movie too. And what's her name as the name I give my dog. I call my Lotus for no apparent reason. I refer to Lotus as Zuzu Petals. And no one knows really what that's from. And it's so, I'm so horrible that it's from.
Well, it's not from Ford Fairlane, Phil.
Is Ford is quoting something else? What is it originally from?
Yes. Zuzu's Petals. My Zuzu's Petals. I still have Zuzu's Petals. It's from the Christmas movie there with fucking
Christmas Tale or Christmas whatever.
No, not A Christmas Story. The other one there that they play, A Wonderful Life.
It's okay. It's a
Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life. Okay. Well, we got
His daughter's name is Zuzu, and she gives him petals from a flower from something. He's got them on him throughout the whole movie. That he doesn't have them at one point, and then when he finally gets home, he's got Zuzu.
Now, Joe,
Zuzu's petals. I got Zuzu's petals.
Well, that's why I call Zuzu.
Look, Daddy, every time a bell rings, an angel
gets his wings. Corey Mitchell says, Jason in space. What the fuck? What the fuck was that? The real YT. Hi, Phil and everybody. Good thing I checked to see if I got any notifications. Thank you guys, Notification Squad, for popping on in here and saying hi to us here on this. This is one of those nights where Joe and I came out here with absolutely no plan and we're just shit talking tonight. So we appreciate any questions and comments sending us in multiple directions. We do have this topic, and as Joe said, it's going to be very quick, but I'm just curious of your ranking. So you can do simple.
Hell and The Beast Within. Both old 80s, late 70s movies, fucking great.
I've talked about
me when I was a kid.
I've talked about this movie a lot. Before we get into our lists and the big ones here, I've talked about this movie a lot. An underrated one that came out around that time that I always loved is called Shocker. It's another Wes Craven movie. It's about this guy that's a murderer. He goes on death row. He gets executed, but he says some spell. Yeah, he says some spell like Chucky, and he gets. It's so bad. I love it, dude. And then I
saw that shit in the theater too.
Me too. I saw that at that.
Shocker this weekend. All right.
I saw it at the theater in the Liberty Tree Mall, the one that's down by where the bookstore is now. That's the Barnes and Noble now.
Yep.
Another underrated movie that's not even a horror movie, but I used to watch it a lot of times on Halloween, was the movie Haunted Honeymoon with Gilda Radner and Gene Wilder and Dom DeLuise. I feel like it's a movie that kind of gets forgotten about over time. It's
Saturday the 14th.
Saturday 14th was a good movie. I remember renting that from the Video Corner because I saw the ad for it and stuff. So let's catch up in the live chat here and say hi to some people as Joe gets into his apple. Great to see Mandrell in the live chat. Hopefully all is going well, my friend. I recommend Raw 2016 in Titan, a French body horror movies, same director. I think Jennifer Aniston got her start in Leprechaun. I think it was Leprechaun 3 or was it Leprechaun 2? But yes, Jennifer Aniston's first movie role was in one of the Leprechaun movies. Great to see. Merle Davis, no way, Phil. Watch The Outsiders. It's a good midway between Opie and Beta. Sinister has been my favorite scary movies. We got the Triangle Guard in the live chat. Great to see you, Triangle Guard. Great to see all of you guys. We really do appreciate it. We know we haven't been here for a couple weeks, but when we get through with a Walking Dead season, we kind of need to exercise our demons to be excited and get away from our post-traumatic Walking Dead disorder from talking too much about it this season. So without wasting any time to get into the topic, and as I said, if you guys have any other questions about any things or you want to call on in and give some of your choices, some of your favorite horror franchises and horror movies or favorite episodes of Halloween-based television series, because we were talking about what shows had the best Halloween specials before the show started, and I think in my memory, Home Improvement was always really good. Roseanne was one that always had good. Modern Family. I didn't really watch too much of that show, but yes, that did. Speaking of Modern Family, I feel like I have memories when you say that of Married with Children having some fun Halloween episodes in my memory too.
I don't remember them ever being any good.
Were you a big fan of Married with Children? Yeah, me too. I was a huge fan walking it. Got it. An apple away keeps the doctor away. Tales from the Hood. That was a great one. Oh my God, I remember seeing Haunted Honeymoon at the theater and thinking it sucked. Sorry, Phil. That is fine. That is one of the last movies Gene Wilder actually did. He directed it, he wrote it, he put a lot of his time and effort to it. And then his wife unfortunately got sick. Gilda Radner got sick relatively soon after that movie got put out. But I understand it's definitely not a movie that I'd recommend for everyone, but it was a movie I used to watch historically. I had it on a VHS cassette, and it's something I used to turn on a lot during Halloween. Okay, so to get into this here, and Joe, feel free to be I'll go first since I'll be a little bit more detailed on some of these stuff, and then we can talk a little bit about each franchise here.
I'll just badmouth everything you try to talk good about.
Okay, so let me try to poker that one. So check. Talk shitty about things I actually like, and the things I hate. Talk. One thing I really liked in the movie Summer School was Chainsaw and what's his name liking horror movies and bringing that.
Okay. That's not a Halloween movie.
Yeah, no,
why are we talking about Summer School? That's a great movie. Chainsaw's fucking fantastic.
It is, because I wanted you to shit talk it, because I wanted to test you.
The dude that goes to the bathroom. A dude that goes to the bathroom at the beginning and doesn't come back until the end of Summer School.
Yeah, he's gone forever.
He takes a test and gets 100 on it.
Did you used to watch any of the shows like Tales from the Crypt or Amazing Stories or the Freddy Krueger show or the Jason television shows?
It was awesome. And there was another one, Creep Show.
Creep Show, yep.
Creep shows were great.
I think there was one, Tales from the Dark Side.
Like horror-ish Twilight Zones.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely.
And they were short. They didn't have to be long to be scary or suspenseful and shit, you know? They were good.
Triangle Guard, you don't want to know where that apple came from. It came from the bag. That's it. It came from the bag. It's not nothing big. Okay, so you're gonna shit talk it, but I don't care. My favorite of all of any horror movie franchise, I've talked about it a lot before, but my favorite by far is Nightmare on Elm Street. Even the bad Nightmare on Elm Streets I enjoy because I think Robert Englund and I think Freddy's funny. And I think some of the kills are creative. Even like the stupid ones at the end, like where the kid jumps into the video game and Freddy kills him in the video game and goes, "Now you're playing with power." Ha! Like even stupid shit like that, I still get a kick out of it and laugh at it a little bit and laugh at it enough to be entertained by it. So I think by far for me, Freddy's probably number one. And I think in general, the good Freddy movies, I enjoy more than all of the other movies just because of said dream sequences. And I think the Freddy antagonists, aside from Jamie Lee Curtis, the Freddy antagonists are more memorable to me than the ones that fought Jason. I mean, we got Corey Feldman and then Tommy Jarvis that popped up, and in 3 different movies he was played by 3 different. He was played by 3 different. Johnny Depp in the first Nightmare on Elm Street was, yes, you started with Johnny Depp, but really Nancy and Nancy's dad, played by, I forget the actor's name, but he was a big actor around that time. And then in every movie, then you had Patricia Arquette in one of the movies, and like in Dream Warriors, all those characters were fucking memorable. Each one of them with the different powers. The kid that was the D&D kid, the girl that had the knives, the strong dude, the kid with the voice that didn't talk, the puppet show kid. Like each one of them were really memorable. And even into like the last one with the Final Nightmare, bringing back Nancy, bringing back her dad.
Well, number 3, Nightmare on Elm Street, number 3 was the best Nightmare on Elm Street.
It's a cross between 1 and 3. I think either is an acceptable answer if we're saying it. And I would say those are my favorite. But if we're doing rankings of our favorite versus the best, is the best one of all these movies the first Halloween? Is it tough to beat the first Halloween for quality? I think as just
I
like
always thought it sucked.
Oh, you never liked the Halloween? You never liked.
Everybody's like, oh, Halloween's the best. Oh, it's so great. I always thought it sucked. I always thought the fat bald guy sucked.
But Michael, what you're talking about, Michael? What I liked about Halloween is my Star Trek-ness. And if people know this, it's an old thing by now. Everyone knows this. The face of Mike Myers is actually a mask of William Shatner that was dyed white. Because I think they had 2 choices.
So I'm supposed to like a whole movie because I get to look at a fucking mask of fucking William Shatner? Come on, that's
much.
Ridiculous. Okay, great. Nice creative thing. Okay, move on. That doesn't save 2 hours of my fucking life.
but I would say Jamie Lee Curtis is also exceptionally awesome in pretty much every.
Does she show her tits in that movie?
I'm not sure. I don't remember
does she show her tits in that movie?
I don't know.
You don't remember?
I don't.
The answer is no. Pass.
You're such a dick. Check out. Go look up Mr. Skin if you want to know that fucking shit. I don't care.
With the name Weinstein.
Don't say things like that. Please.
What's the film called?
So anyways, we go over here, and Swordstone says, I like the first Nightmare on Elm Street film, but my favorite is actually Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I was about to say that too. I think a New Nightmare also deserves special remembrance. I don't like all the choices in a New Nightmare. I don't like the new design of Freddy, but I think the whole concept behind it is an interesting concept, and it's a unique way to try to bring back Freddy to be scary again. Yeah. And I think it's the 3rd best Nightmare on Elm Street. I actually really do enjoy A New Nightmare a lot more than other people do. I think it's got some creative artwork to it, and I like that Wes Craven came back and worked on it, and he's does some acting in it too.
I was done after the number 4. That was the last one I saw. Oh no, Freddy vs. Jason.
Okay, Freddy vs. Jason. I was gonna talk about that at the end after we talked about Jason too. But just to get into it right away, I think Freddy vs. Jason, if we're ranking battle movies between 2 monsters, except for some of the old ones where you really got, I think Freddy vs. Jason is one of the best ones because you actually get, most of it is Freddy actually versus Jason. Yeah, they introduced some human characters, but that like first Alien versus Predator, I spent way too much time with humans and not enough times with aliens versus predators.
How many times have I said that movie should have been silent and there should have just been fucking aliens and predators and that's it?
I feel like the Freddy versus Jason one, they got it more than some of those movies. They got the understanding of what they needed to do. Tony motherfucking pajamas in the live chat. Freddy winks to Jason. Jamie Lee Curtis can still get it. I agree, AK. That's basically what I wanted to say, that I think she is a talent and she steals those movies, everyone that she's in. I'm not a huge, like from an entertainment standpoint, I'm not as big of a fan of the Halloween movies, Joe. I prefer the next one I want to talk about here, the Friday the 13th ones, because the Friday the 13th ones, you can argue, are some of the worst of all of them in the sense of like put together movies. They were cut the most from the MPA, cutting most of the kills out of them. They're really kind of silly in some ways in a lot of stuff, but I like them all. I generally smile my way through watching Friday the 13th movies. I like Jason as a character. I think he's more charismatic of a character than Mike Myers is, even though they're both masked guys with knives. And And I generally do like a lot of the Friday the 13th stuff. I don't know if part of my love for the Friday the 13th came from our whole phase playing the video game and getting all into that. And I think the campiness and the cheesiness Friday the 13th embraces more than a lot of the other ones of these film series. Like almost right from the beginning, like having Jason run around with a bag on his head.
That's because of the low budget.
Yes, and Jason's mother talking and like, oh, Jason, I'm going to get you. You're a good boy, Jason.
They all suck. I mean, that's all I can really say about horror movies is they just all suck.
I feel like that's you're taking the easy way out there because you don't.
I am because I can't find like where's the suspense? It's always the same. And the same can be said for action movies and drama movies. They all follow that same pattern and everything, and it's really just what you're into. But they just don't.
See, I don't fall into from
like Hostel. I liked Hostel. I thought that was a good movie.
Right, so it's not about genre. It's about good or bad for you.
But it's barely a horror movie. That's more like it's a horror movie because that shit could fucking happen. Like the slasher parts isn't what makes that movie scary. You know, like it's the fact that you can be taking it all out of the fucking Hostel. You know what I mean? Like.
Oh, we got the Terminator who is back.
It's like almost like Taken is just about almost as horror movie-ish as Hostel, but
no, I mean some other action movies. Some action movies definitely use elements of horror movies. We got the Terminator in the live chat, especially the first Terminator movie definitely uses a lot of elements of the monster kind of movie, hunting you down, not being able to stop it. So a lot of other movies do that. I guess I feel a little bit different, even though it's not my favorite genre. I want to, and I enjoy looking at it and judging it within itself. So even if I thought similar to you, like it all sucked and I'm not into it, I would still be able to tell you which things I think suck less and more. And
right. But we're talking about you get the scale of movies, right? Is this movie any genre, whatever? All genres, all movies, whatever. What's your favorite 5 movies to go through all genres? Give it a 1 through 10 ranking, right? All the fucking horror movies just about
maybe would be on the bottom of your list.
Like, but that's just it. Like none of them are good enough to be like, even though I don't like horror movies, even though it's not my thing, that's a movie that's good enough to be a 7. Or an 8 in the movie scales of movie scale.
I think it depends on how you rank things, and fair enough that you rank every movie against each other. I tend to rank movies based, like what you're saying, within their genre. Like if you were doing your 100 movies or doing the top 10 movies of every possible genre, no horror movie would be even close to your top list.
Right, I could pick 1 through 10 of horror movies that are good, that are the best.
And that's
10 movies.
Yeah, that's what I want you to do.
Be shitty fucking movies.
Fine, we accept that. We accept that you think that they're all shitty. Now, which ones do you actually like? And out of these shitty characters that all fucking suck, which ones do you think fucking suck less?
That's the thing. I find no difference.
See, you're being lazy.
The characters of I find no difference between. Okay, so you bring up Terminator, and he's the big monster that can't be stopped, that keeps coming, but he's only coming for one fucking person, right? So he's not really that scary because he's never going to come after you. So all the other ones, they're going to come after you eventually, right? Like, because that's what they do. Like, if you go to Crystal Lake or go to the woods, you get Jason's. If you fall asleep anywhere,
Freddy's getting you.
Off and blink your eyes, Freddy's coming for you. If you go to the hospital or whatever the fuck Mike Myers likes to fucking torment, you know,
the neighborhood.
Just going after the doctor and fucking Jamie Lee Curtis all the fucking time. And other people just get in the way.
He kills babysitters, doesn't he? Isn't that Mike Myers?
I don't fucking know what he kills. I never pay attention to him because they all lose my attention. So
Joe,
quickly.
Speaking of paying attention, I mean, I think if we're talking about quality of actual production-wise films of who created the highest quality scary movies, for me, it would be in that top list. And this is where I slightly disagree with you, Joe. If I was making like top lists, I would probably maybe put a couple of Hitchcock movies in there. Something like The Birds was horrifying to me as a kid and delivered exactly what it was trying to do.
Jaws a scary movie? Is Jaws a horror movie? Because
It's a monster movie. Jaws. Wait, Joe.
That shark and go into the water.
Jaws is a monster movie, not a horror movie, but I do think it uses certain elements. But Joe, we do have a voicemail from our good buddy Tim, so let's hear what Tim has to say to us.
He just has to tell me to shut the fuck up. I'm sure.
I mean, I think it's going to be part of it.
Yo, so shut the fuck
Yeah,
up.
you got it. Oh, no, it's me.
Shut the fuck up, Joe.
Oh, shit. No, that's it. You didn't have anything else to say. You just wanted to tell us to shut the fuck up. So, Joe, have you ever seen the movie Mama?
I saw like 5 minutes of it. And that's the thing. Like, none of them hold my attention long enough for me to be like, oh, that was like even see. Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you, the Saw movies are probably the best, right?
No, you've talked about Saw a couple of times tonight.
I've seen about half of the first one.
I think the Candyman. I think the Candyman's very serious.
Candyman is good because of who Candyman was.
Yeah, the actor is an amazing actor, and he's so creepy with his voice.
But aside from that, even those movies sucked. Like, all I wanted to do was go. First thing I did was go like scary. No, Nightmare on Elm Street scared me. I didn't want to go to sleep for like a week after that. Like any of the other ones, no, not scary. Hostel, yeah, I don't want to go to a fucking something to stand. Stay in a fucking hostel.
DJ, which one was Hill House? Was Hill House the first one or the second one? I liked the first one.
House on Haunted Hill?
No, the Netflix series, the first of the two that they did, The Haunting on... Was Hill House the first one? The first one was good. The second one I didn't get into. Tony Todd is great. Tony Todd is pretty much great in everything he's in. He's also plays
Star Trek.
Yeah, plays Kern, Worf's brother, and he's in one of the highest rated Star Trek episodes of all time on Deep Space Nine called The Visitor, where he plays an older version of Jake Sisko. He's a great actor.
He's also in a web thing they did where
Was he in a short Trek?
A short Trek thing as well, which was really good. It was like a fan made thing that was really good. We watched it, Phil. It was about like a starbase somewhere.
Oh yeah, yes we did.
Diary entries or some shit. Like,
holy shit, we got OTDA in the live chat. We have so many friends popping in the live chat. It's great to see so many voices and faces and so many folks that we haven't seen in a while. Thank you so much for checking out this live stream. Please make sure you hit that like button on the way in. Even if you don't stick around, it helps this get out to more people and be suggested to more people. Tonight we're just talking about favorite Halloween memories and how much Joe thinks horror movies suck. And I this is one of those things where I don't have the strength to argue with you as much because I'm not far off from disagreeing with you. It's just, if it wasn't for my love for the Nightmare on Elm Street series, I might agree with you. But if I'm making not best movies, but if I'm making a list of my top 20 favorite movies, at least Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 would be in there. There's probably a couple of these other movies that I'd pop in there too that have some elements of scary kind of stuff. So I guess I'm a little bit different than you in that. Maybe is Misery considered a scary movie? See,
I don't think so. I wouldn't put that on.
She's kind of a horror
movie. What is it? Is there a difference? Do they belong in the same genre?
Stephen King wrote it. I mean,
but like, what are his horror movies?
I like Maximum Overdrive, where there's machines killing Emilio Estevez. I love that
movie. Or is that an action movie?
No, that's a horror movie with you get the chi. Yes, Maximum Overdrive is a horror movie.
It's more of a horror movie than Maximum Overdrive.
But Maximum Overdrive is a horror movie.
So then Terminator is, because it's machines taking over the world.
That's not machines, it's aliens.
That's just what the company's first run over there is, at fucking Maximum Overdrive.
No, Maximum Overdrive was aliens, Joe. It was, remember a comet or something, a comet thing passed through space and controlled.
That's just the cover story, man. It's really
yeah, that's what they want you to think, Joe. That's what they fucking want you to think.
Fucking company, goddamn it.
AK says Misery is creepy and fanatical, but I wouldn't call it a horror movie. The
House of 1,000 Corpses, is that the one with like the house with all the glass walls and Jack Black. I liked that. I thought that was good. That's a horror movie.
Devil's Advocate.
Nope, not a horror movie.
It has some horror elements. It has some like scare, like shock, jump scares in it. Like when you look at the girl's faces, but it uses elements of it.
You know what? How about this? Dracula.
Yeah,
Is that a horror movie?
the first one, yes.
It's the one that came out with fucking
Bela Lugosi. Oh, not that shit. Not the Emilio West. Not the fucking Keanu one.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Gary Oldman Keanu one.
Is that a horror movie? It's Dracula, right? It sucks.
It sucked. I didn't enjoy that movie. I know some people really do like that movie.
That movie is a fucking trash fest.
Wasn't Emilio Estevez in Maximum Overdrive? Yes, he was. Yeah. And also, who else was in that movie? The voice of Lisa Simpson, actually acting. And I want to say there's maybe one or two other people like you would recognize in it.
Yes, there are.
Popping in, but the two that I really remember the most are Emilio and her, yeah, because she's like so Lisa Simpson when she screams. Except she speaks a little bit more in a southern accent, but she's like she can't help but speak. Out of all the Simpsons voice actors, she's the only one that actually sounds like Lisa Simpson. Cape Fear. Cape Fear is a scary movie. Both Cape Fears are really scary movies. Do you ever see the?
More like he says, action.
Drama
thrillers, not.
Excuse me, counselor. Do you consider Silence of the Lambs a horror movie?
Drama thriller.
Same as Cape Fear, right? Essentially.
Drama thriller. Devil's Advocate.
And yeah, as AK said in the live chat, Devil's Advocate, drama thriller. Devil's Advocate is a great one. It is a great movie and one of Pacino's best like underrated performances because it gets forgotten about a little bit. But some of the monologues that Pacino gets to do as the devil in that movie, he's one of my favorite on-screen devil performances. Keanu, that's not one of my favorite Keanu performances. It was before Keanu like stopped giving a fuck and everyone loves him now, is when he was in his trying to act phase and he tries this accent through a whole movie that just doesn't work. I think they tried to get, and I'd have to research it a little bit, but I think I read somewhere that they tried to get Matthew McConaughey and he was busy. He's like, I don't want to play a lawyer again, because he just played a lawyer in like 7 movies in a row, and they gave it to Keanu and they didn't change the fact that you're supposed to have sort of like a southern accent of some sort, but whatever. Okay, so my favorite of all those movies is Freddy. The Friday the 13th movies, I think, are some of the cheesier of all of them and worst put together. I want to take a moment here, Joe, and talk about something you might like, because I watched a documentary on basically finally seeing what happened with it. Horror movies may not be your cup of tea, but you have gotten into a few, and maybe one anyways. I've definitely liked a few with Silent Hill. The Friday the 13th video game was a game that for a few months anyways, 6 months or so, was your game. Joe tends to find one. He plays a lot of games, but
almost a year.
Was it almost a year? But it was like that was your go-to game for a little bit there for a while. Do you think that was a better representation of the product and of like horror movies than the actual movies? Did you get into that aspect, or was it more the gameplay alone?
Well, here's the thing. I didn't get the game because of the. I got the game because of you guys. Because
to play
because of Gary Eakin
for the multiplayer.
So I was like, all right, it's multiplayer, and we all played it together. And it took me a couple weeks to actually get into. Like, I thought it was, it's a shitty game.
It's super shitty. And the reasons why is it basically was supposed to be another game at one point in time, and it was going to be like with a bunch of different slasher villains, like each level would be a different slasher villain. But then they randomly sent the information to the Friday the 13th people, who surprisingly jumped on board, and they thought that would get them picked up by a bigger major studio, and no studio picked it up, so they ended up having to indie and build the game themselves. And then they had success, they were sort of going with it, and then they got sued by a company.
And the original owner of Friday the 13th sued to get his property back.
Exactly. And now they're in litigation, and they couldn't add anything more to the game, and the servers are shut down.
So the game itself was choppy, it was glitchy. But it was a lot of fun. It had a lot of if you got into the game, it had a lot of suspense to it because you didn't want to die by Jason. But it's a fairly simple game. It's straightforward.
Do you think that game would have worked with? Was anything about that game just the fact it was Jason? Would have worked just as well if it was a Halloween Mike Myers game or a Nightmare on Elm Street game? It had nothing to do specifically with the Jason or the Friday the 13th setup.
Correct.
So the next one I want to talk about here, the next little guy that I have to mention, because there's a new series that I haven't watched yet, and I kind of fell off on his movies. And it's not because I didn't like them. I generally do like the Child's Play movies because they're so ridiculous. They're good. Again, similar to Nightmare on Elm Street in that way that we're talking about a voodoo doll that's become a murderer, and it's just hilarious to me to watch it. And I think Chucky
Chucky is a good one.
Chucky, the voice actor that does it, who is
Jennifer Tilly, the bride of Chucky, is awesome.
Yeah, pretty much all of them. I haven't watched this new Chucky series. Chucky is sort of an underrated one because I think all of his movies have a smile factor. Excuse me. I think the worst
because those try to be comedic too.
Yeah, I think the worst one is the one where it might be the second one where the kid's in the military school or some shit like that.
I couldn't even remember. I don't even. Yeah, dude.
We got Vol Spirit in the live chat. I love horror movies, but it's damn hard to find a good one. And we got Joe Mama in the live chat too. It's great to see so many faces popping in here tonight that we haven't seen in a while, or maybe some new faces that are just coming on in here.
People had some boring Halloween nights.
Right, exactly. You have nothing else to do, so you're coming out to watch two dumbasses cosplay each other. I think I might. I don't know, what I should have done is wore some of your clothes I still have from 1995.
Right, like the green plaid.
The green plaid jacket. Like there was a very awkward moment where I stole one of Joe's coats several thousand years ago, and he hadn't seen it in probably 30 years, and he helped me move last year. This was the last time you helped me move, not the most recent time. And it was like a horror movie where Joe turns, he just sees it sitting there. He's like, that. And then I think you forgot it again or something like that.
Well, I said, hey, that's yours now, I guess, right?
Is it
mine? But I saw it and I knew it was mine.
It was the statute of limitations.
20 years later.
20, I think it might be. We're a little older than that. No, it's probably 20. You're right. It's probably about 20. Might watch The Descent too. I remember liking that one. We got Natalie. Hi, Phil. How are you doing? Great to see you in the live chat. We're doing great. We're excited to be out here tonight babbling to you guys about something other than The Walking Dead. Even if this is one of these days, we'll get on a topic that Joe is excited about talking about. But
The Last of Us, Lord of the Rings, Time Circle, whatever.
Time Circle, the Wheel of Time. You mean?
The Wheel of Time.
The Time Circle. That's a different show altogether. We're going to be talking
Game
about
of Thrones, Days Gone Past, or whatever it is.
House of Dragons.
Yeah, that's the one.
Days Gone Past. It's not an X-Men movie. Game of Thrones, Days of Future Past. That might be pretty good. We got Red Lipstick Club Anna, the beautiful, the wonderful Anna in the live chat. The worst damn Chucky is when Chucky and Tiffany had a kid together. It's like, what the fuck? That was terrible. Weird ass kid. And that's some of those choices when some of those horror movies just get to these most ridiculous, crazy, awful points in time where they just go completely off the deep end. And I think some of the Halloween movies that we've gotten in more recent years have gotten that way. When we get to like Jason X or Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, or then we get into the worst of it, where we get those reboots of the series, where we got the new. Did you watch the new Nightmare on Elm Street, Joe? You never watched that?
No.
It was bad. It was probably one of the worst of those. I didn't like Jackie Haley or something, whoever they got to play Freddy. I didn't think he added enough personality to the character of Freddy, and I don't like the Freddy makeup or the CG that they did with his face. It looked fucking stupid. But yeah, I didn't enjoy that at all. We got Andrew. I love spooky movies, but I cannot stand horror movies. So what about The Simpsons? The Simpsons. Okay, if we're talking about... I'm sorry, I know we're jumping all over the place, but this is sort of a freeform, drunky Halloween kind of discussion. So feel free to toss us in those directions. I feel like even through the years of The Simpsons being shitty, when I've gone back to watch them, a highlight of Simpsons episodes throughout the years has been the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episodes. I think they're always interesting takes on it. They're shorts so that they have some sort of more of an interesting nature to them than some of the other Simpsons episodes when we get too much into the repetition of what the Simpsons has done over and over again. So I think I generally always enjoy the Treehouse Horror episodes. And I think if we're looking at sitcoms and television shows that have done great Halloween episodes, it's easy to ignore what The Simpsons did for Halloween, but because of so much of just The Simpsons being at a point in time where I don't like it because it's been on so long. And even me, as Joe can attest to this, at one point in time, I was probably the biggest Simpsons fanboy you could get. When Sunday nights came on and it was time to watch it, everything had to shut down, and in my whole room, which was, a place where we'd hang out in my room, would turn into, we got to sit down and watch the Simpsons episode and get into it. And it was appointment television watching for me in a lot of ways. And I really, really don't like it now. I think it's horrible. But I do occasionally pop in and watch the Treehouse of Horror episodes, and do have to give the show the credit for always putting out a really good, fun, I mean, some of them are better than others, but in general, putting out really fun horror takes and little fun Simpson scary takes. AK say Joe rocking that 1800. Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp was a good one. Didn't that also have Christina Ricci in it as well? The Sleepy Hollow movie. Did you enjoy television series or movies like The Addams Family or The Munsters or Beetlejuice, or more comedic horror takes on things like that?
Talking to me?
Yes.
Repeat the question, please. Joe rocking that 1800.
Do you like things like The Addams Family, the Monsters, more comedic horror takes on things?
Yeah. Saturday the 14th.
Yeah, Saturday the 14th. Like more things that have a
Monster Squad.
The Monster Squad's a great fucking movie, Joe. I mean,
the Wolfman has nards.
Wolfman, it's the thing everyone remembers from that. But yes, the Wolfman has nards. I don't care. Casper and Addams Family values stand the test of time. I'll even throw in Halloween Town. The Adam Sandler Frankenweenie or something like that, I think is very cute too. I prefer that kind of spookiness, more funny, less serious, hardcore stuff than more stuff that has a good sense of humor to it. Let's see. Treehouse. Yeah, the Treehouses were always generally pretty good. I never got into the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I love Rocky Horror Picture Show. I enjoyed going to see it live several times, dressing up to go see it. And it's one of my favorite movies. And I very much enjoy Rocky Horror, and I very much enjoy the stage performances in the soundtrack of the stage review of it, which has Anthony Head from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, got Giles from Buffy the Vampire Slayer playing the Tim Curry part, doing a really awesome job. He has an amazing voice. He sings a couple of times on Buffy, but he really, if you want to get a kick out of it, if you were a Buffy fan and you like Giles, right? Not Giles. Definitely check out
Giles.
Check out his version of Rocky Horror. I did a Paranormal Activity 1 and 2. The first two, do you like those kind of movies? The found footage Paranormal Activity? Have you ever watched?
They suck.
You didn't like those? I think I liked the first one.
The which one? What was the first one?
The Blair Witch. That sucked. The Blair Witch, I don't care. People can hate on me all I want.
It started a whole fucking genre, and the whole genre sucks.
Let me. What are you talking about, Joe? What sucks about it?
Right, exactly. Shaky cam. It not only started, it also went into the whole shaky cam thing for, action.
What are you talking about, Joe? What are you talking about?
Yeah, close-up face, snotty nose, shaky cam.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Figures. When I have to fix my camera, you go off. I'm like, yeah, there you go. Okay, I'm better now. There. So you were muted for a second. Yeah, let me go down. Here we go. That's better. Same. A lot of folks sleep on Haunted Mansion. I love the cheese of it. Yeah, I like Haunted Mansion's another one. It's kind of funny, cheesy. I know DJ said she didn't really love it, but I mentioned Haunted Honeymoon earlier.
Horror movie, Fatal Attraction. Horror movie, The Money Pit.
Oh, that's a fucking horror movie.
Yeah, The Money Pit is definitely a horror movie with Tom Hanks and Shelley Long. If you haven't watched that, it's Shelley Long, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Horror movie.
Sonic, I'm with you. Blair Witch wasn't good, but I generally did enjoy. There was at least one or two of the Paranormal Activity movies I kind of liked. There was the one that it was everything was nothing, and then you see like the witch thing fly past the screen. I jumped the fuck out of my shit. I really did. Lindsay, we got Lindsay in the live chat. I haven't seen Lindsay in a long time. Lindsay, thank you for popping on in here. Lindsay, the cynical geek, in the live chat with us. Great to see you, Lindsay. Blair Witch was awesome until the end. I agree. Merle says, I agree with you. Found footage sucks. Sonic says, Money Pit was hilarious. Hilarious and horrifying. The older you get, the more horrifying that movie gets.
Yup.
It's like watching Christmas Vacation when you get older and you just start thinking about what Chevy
Vacation. Yeah.
Or no, I was thinking with when he lights up, puts all the Christmas lights out, you start thinking about his electric bill. You're like, holy shit. Like the older I get, the more I start thinking about Chevy Chase's electric bill in Vacation. That's the real joke. That's what makes me fucking laugh. I like The Money Pit too. I like all those early Tom Hanks movies that get forgotten about in the history of Tom Hanks. And Splash, The Money Pit, The Burbs.
What's his name just died too from
Bosom Buddies.
Bosom Buddies.
Yeah,
Scolari.
yeah, he was great, and Tom Hanks took care of him, put him in That Thing You Do, first opportunity. Okay, that's another comedic horror kind of movie, comedic scary movie, The Burbs. I think that's one of the best spooky-ish.
That is such a good movie.
The Klopex best Corey Feldman performance in adult Corey Feldman performance. Bruce Dern is amazing in that movie, and Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is unbelievable. Tom Hanks and Bruce Dern have excellent chemistry in that movie. It's that's one of those again forgotten about movies because of what Tom Hanks did in the second half of his career. You forget so much about those early movies, but even Big's the only one that they talk about from that generation from him because it was his big one, pun intended. But there's so many of the Tom Hanks movies of that age that get forgotten about. Nothing But Trouble with him and Jackie Gleason. Punchline with him and Sally Field.
The Man with One Red Shoe.
I don't know if I remember that one. The Man with.
Or is that Steve Martin?
I'm for some reason when you said that I'm thinking about The Man with Two Brains, but I don't know if I know.
Man with Two Brains is
definitely Steve Martin. I don't know if I know The Man with Red Shoe. Lily Tomlin, another forgotten about hero of comedy. She's one of the fastest comedy minds in existence. Lily Tomlin's one woman show is unbelievable. There's a lot of movies she's great in, but an underrated one with her is called Big Business with her and what's her name? Wind Beneath My Wings. Bette Midler and really funny movie about one of the switching places, Prince and Pauper kind of story, and I very much like it. But Tom Hanks, there's a movie Punchline he did, one of his early dramatic roles where he plays a stand-up comic where you get a lot of bit appearances from other stand-up comics. Damon Wayans has an earlier appearance in that, and Sally Field, which is funny, who plays his mother later in Forrest Gump. You talk about a horror movie. They hook up in the movie Punchline, and then later she plays his mom in a movie. That's pretty fucking horrifying. Ghostbusters, obviously, we're talking a lot about comedic, scary movies. Generally speaking, Joe, one of the scariest moments I ever had in a movie ever to this point is the library scene at the beginning of Ghostbusters. When that ghost turns around, I personally jumped out of my shit in that scene. I got scared.
The boiled rabbit in Fatal Attraction. The boiled rabbit in Fatal Attraction scared the shit out of me, dude.
The Burbs was great. That was very scary too, Joe. I have another story for off air about that. Let's see. What did sorry, I was just looking at a deleted comment. Good call. The Burbs and the People Under the Stairs. People Under the Stairs are definitely slept on. That's a scary fucking movie. Jacob's Ladder is another one that kind of gets slept on that horrified me as a kid. Lindsay, the cynical geek, says, the only two movies that scared the crap out of me when I was a kid was Poltergeist and American Werewolf in London. That made me think of one of the other movies that actually scared me when I was a kid. It wasn't Poltergeist, but it was called Amityville Horror or something like that. It was another one of those like houses haunting
Salem's
people.
Lot and Return to Salem's Lot.
Yeah, some of those early horror movies.
Hellraiser, those movies. Oh, dude.
Pinhead.
Phantasm 1 and 2.
I don't know if I saw those. Scary?
With the orb, the guy with the fucking orb,
No,
the
I
caretaker.
don't think I
the
saw that.
Cemetery with the flying orb with the spikes that came out of it and shit. Like, yeah, Phantasm movies.
Lost Boys is another classic. Sonic says great fucking movie. I'd say with Hellraiser is. Thank you, AK. Hellraiser is about the only... I love AK's a horror movie with her sword. If you try to fuck with her, she'll turn into Freddy Jason and chop you. Hellraiser is about the only thing that really gives me a jump. I'm currently watching Return of the Living Dead, one of the best zombie movies of all time. Fright Night Hellraiser is a classic. Amityville scared the shit out of me because it was one of those get the fuck out of the house movies. There was just a voice in it at some point in time that scared me. The only Jason movie that ever scared me wasn't ever really Jason. It was in the Jason movie. And another thing that just freaked me out for some reason in the Friday the 13th Jason Takes Manhattan movie, which most of it should have just been called Jason on a Boat because they only spend like 5 minutes in Manhattan because they couldn't afford like shooting in New York. So most of the movie is them on a boat. Every time one of the main character looks into a mirror, he sees himself drowning or sees like a drowning kid, drowning Jason, maybe it is. And for some reason, that image of the kid drowning always fucking fucked with me. I put movies with scary ass kids at the top of my list. I'm not watching this alone. Scary ass kids is a whole friggin' different topic, and kids can be really. Poltergeist is obviously one of the scariest kids of all time. And some people shit on this movie, but I very much enjoy it. And Joe probably knows the movie I'm going to talk about, but I think The Good Son with Macaulay Culkin. I think Macaulay Culkin plays creepy
Drama thriller though.
Plays creepy as fuck in that movie though. But his creepiness in that movie is.
Dude,
The Shining kids
that lived on the street, same house that the Good Son was.
Oh yeah, yep, yes, we did.
4 houses down, 4 mansions.
Yep,
4 like fucking old school North Shore of Massachusetts mansions in like one of the rich communities.
The kids in the did you like The Shining, Joe?
No.
You didn't like The Shining? Not even for Jack and Olive Oil's performances there? Oh, that's Olive Oil at her best.
The bathroom with the knife.
I don't want to hurt you. I just want to rip your goddamn head off.
Yeah, no.
Do you any prison movie is kind of a horror movie? You know, you could for me anyway. I watched the first few seasons of Oz. It's kind of a horror movie.
It's a love story.
Yeah. Oz is definitely a horror movie for Tobias Beecher if you want to look at it from that perspective. I think Squid Game had a lot of different elements of horror. They blended it perfectly. Okay, so this leads into something which I probably should have titled this if I want to get the most views on this.
No, that's an action thriller.
But let's talk a little bit about, because we were going to be on a couple of weeks ago, but we had a couple of misses the last 2 weeks to be on. But we were going to talk a little bit about Squid Game. Well, we can put a little pause. Joe, what were your opinions of Squid Game?
It sucked. I would never recommend anybody to watch it.
Horrible?
It was predictable. It was bad production.
Are you trolling, or is this really what you thought about
it? I'm trolling. I was on board with that shit way before everybody else.
Yeah, I was like, wait. Everything I know about you would lead me to believe there's nothing about this series you wouldn't like. I mean, because the only thing I thought it was great. The only thing that you said is true. Is this is something that's been done a few times before in different ways, whether you want to say The Hunger Games or The Running Man, which both did something somewhat similar, and I'm sure there's other stuff, but I think this does it better than both of those things. As much as I love The Running Man, and The Hunger Games has its fans, and I haven't read the books, but the series is all right. The movie series is all right. I think this does that better than both of those things.
Yep. And one of the things that make it good is it's not just like, here's $38 million. Like, unless you did the math as one of the contestants or did the math immediately and everything, but you don't even really realize, even when they tell you what it is, like, that it's when someone dies.
Yeah, not till that. Spoiler alert of Squid Game. Spoiler alert of Squid Game. Spoiler alert of Squid Game. Get out of here if you don't want to be spoiled by it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, Joe. Not until the red light, green light. To the moment, like, you're in the eyes of those two characters, the two dudes that are like, let's play our game of this. Like you and I would be with this. Like, first one to the end wins. Fuck you. You suck. And then one of them moves a little bit. And I think that was an amazing way of doing it, because I think you really. The shock of it is half of what drew people to the series in that moment. It wasn't what you were expecting right there in that moment. And whereas the other ones, The Running Man and Hunger Games, you know what you're getting in for. This, it really was like, where are they going with this? Until you get into it and see it. And it's like, oh, fuck. And they don't hold back. I think the way they do the violence in it is very much in a boys Invincible kind of way, where it's so horrifying because it's everywhere, but it's like then it white noises itself, but then and it's like funny, sad, funny, sad, funny, sad, funny again, sad, like, but it's like horrifying, not horrifying, white noise, numb to it, oh my god, horrifying again. Like they get into that episode midway through the season where they split off into teams, and I'm not going to get into too much of a spoiler of that episode, like every moment, but we get into an episode that stops making things in a group consciousness, and you get very personal with characters that you start to like and care about, and then it's just like half your shit. You're taking half our shit here, like no questions, no asks. And I think the reveal at the end was very good too. It caused me to immediately go back and rewatch the series. Excuse me. If you haven't watched it yet and you're waiting to give it a shot, I give it a high recommendation.
Yes, it's highly recommended to watch.
One of the best things on Netflix in years.
Right now, yep.
Yeah, really good stuff. And definitely check out AK's Squid Game discussion with the link you can find in the live chat before. And yes, Anna, to say, I saw Anna say this in the side of my corner eye. Yes, any movie where it's an innocent person going to jail, like Martin Lawrence and Eddie Murphy Life, to me that's a horror movie. Or when Andy Dufresne go into prison in that situation, or Tobias in Oz or some shit like that, even though Tobias was guilty. But like the whole concept of someone being innocent in getting put in jail because you can't prove it and no one believes you. That's like the biggest horror movie for me. There's lots of movies and shows that have done that. That is horrible. And I think if we're talking about things that are really truly scary versus slasher horror type stuff, the stuff that's really scary is Twilight Zone kind of stuff. You know, that gets me more than like mental stuff that can really fuck with your perspective. Like things like thinking about that Twilight Zone episode where the dude, isn't that bird? I think it's Mickey. I think it might even be Mickey. I could be wrong. Where he's stuck in the library and his glasses break. Yeah, like that to me is such a horrifying fucking thought. That's worse than thinking about Candyman coming out of my mirror and killing me or whatever Candyman does. So like those kind of things really get me, or that's why The Birds is one of the most horrifying things. I know you were like, well, does Jaws freak you out like that? No, because there aren't, most of the sharks of that size died off in the prehistoric age. The biggest.
I've seen both you and Nick get freaked out to jump off the pier. I don't know what's in that water.
I'm weirded out by oceans, Joe. I'm definitely weird, but it's more like barnacles and stingrays and shit I can cut my feet on and shit more than anything. But you're right. I am freaked out by oceans. I am freaked. Like I don't like swimming in the ocean as much as I like swimming in lakes or ponds or pools or rivers. Like I'd rather swim in any of those besides the ocean, unless
I don't care what it is. Give me a body of water.
Yeah.
I'll jump in that shit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know you're like, you'll jump into anything, no questions asked, quickly off a high object. You're like, water? I'll jump without even looking down. I've seen you do it. Oh my God. Jay's in the live chat. Phil, enough of this shit. Have you finished season 1 of Young Justice yet? I have not finished season 1 of Young Justice yet. Joe, have you watched all of Young Justice?
I watched season 1.
Did you enjoy it? No, not your thing.
It was a little. It's basic. I'd rather watch Invincible.
Oh, who would? I mean, yeah, of course.
Right? Like I could deal without the. This is still for young people.
Penny Dreadful is a great series. Someone says in the live chat. Excuse me.
Season 1 was okay.
Shame it only lasted 3 seasons. Different masterpiece. I never asked you this, but are you a fan of? We've talked a little bit. I want to say you've told me the answer is no, but you're not a fan of the Ozarks, are you?
First few seasons I was. I didn't watch the one where they introduced the brother-in-law. wife's brother.
Natalie
Watched this season.
Natalie Feel Me, which is an amazing name. Natalie. I didn't say the last name after you said it, but great name. Jaws 1 was the best ever. Jaws 1 is a really awesome movie, and I think what makes Jaws 1 such a great movie, Joe, for me anyways, is the acting performances. As much as the monster and the shark is whatever, I think because of how much you start to care about those three guys, that I think the movie sells itself for me on the performances of Roy Scheider, Mr. Holland's opus there, and I forget the other guy, Show Me the Way to Go, like those three guys and all of that. I don't think I've talked to you too much. Are you a fan of the Jaws series?
They're decent movies, but I'm not really a fan of them. I remember I saw number 3 in the theater.
Yeah, the 3D one.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I saw number 2 in the theater. Probably saw number 1 in the theater, but I'm too like young to remember it at the time. But I was younger when I saw the Jaws movies and shit than like the Friday and the 13th than Nightmare on Elm Street. But Nightmare on Elm Street creeped me out a whole shitload more.
Is that the movie we would say creeped you out the most when you were a kid?
No, dude, The Beast Within.
Oh, Beast Within.
That movie used to come on late night on like 38 or 56 or some shit like that, like at like 1 in the morning when I was like 7. And I can remember like at least maybe the second time that movie was on, like I'd already saw it once in the living room, and I remember like I was like 6 or 7 or something, and I woke up and I went into my dad's room. I was like, Dad, I can't sleep, and he was like, oh, go down and get us a midnight snack, watch this movie with me.
such an
It got to the same fucking part where he's like ripping himself apart and like the fucking monsters coming out of him and shit, and the movie was so freaky because he was lusting over this hottie, and like he was going through this weird metamorphosis.
Yeah.
His head was like throbbing and his body was mutating and shit, and the doctors were all freaked out, and like eventually he goes and like just a really fucked up movie. It's not even a good movie. I found it on FearNet a few years ago and watched it again, and it's still kind of just as creepy, and it's got that whole 70s awful film vibe to it. That movie really fucking creeped me the fuck out when I was a kid. Like really, probably the most severely than any other. And then also on top of that, Motel Hell.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was another one that really freaked me out. They buried the bodies, all the heads sticking out of the ground like there were the bushes in front and shit. Tongues cut out.
Swordstone mentioned one that really freaked me out when I was a kid when I first saw it, The Fly, because I wasn't expecting where it went, and I liked so much of the beginning half of the movie. Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis, one of Gina Davis's best acting roles, because I wasn't expecting the visuals that we got at the end, and they were so gross but yet real in some ways, and the way it looked just horrified me in a lot of ways at the time. So I remember The Fly doing that. And yes, Robert Shaw and Natalie Feel Me, he kind of sold that movie for me. As much as it's Roy Scheider's movie, I think he owns it more in the second Jaws, which I think is just as good in some ways as the first one. I think Jaws gets silly in 3 and 4, where 3 is 3D and it's at the very specialized at the aquarium and all this. It's really unbelievable. And then 4 is the one with Michael Caine where the shark has memories and travels to the Bahamas to hunt the family somehow. And Michael Caine does the most amazing thing in the world where he jumps in the water, and he was so pimp he didn't even they didn't even make sure his shirt was wet after he got out of the water. He got in the water, he was perfectly dry. So Jaws 4 is the worst one, Jaws 4 The Revenge. But I very much love the first one. I think it's almost, you could akin to the Rocky movies in some ways, as much as Rocky 3 and Rocky 4 are fun. They're silly action movies where Rocky 1 and Rocky 2 are like serious drama movies that happen to have that sports element to it. And I think Jaws 1 and Jaws 2 are real movies with the monster element, where Jaws 3 and Jaws 4 are like monster movies trying to sell on the effect of the shark and stuff. And that's why they're not as good, because the first 2 Jaws movies really focused on, you had that main character. It's that really amazing actor, Roy Scheider, playing that role. So that added a gravitas to the performances. Sam Neill in The Mouth of Madness is must if you haven't seen it yet. Chucky, okay, Wildlife. I was mentioned it in passing earlier. I haven't seen an episode of it yet, and I'm very excited to watch it. There's a Chucky TV show, and he says Chucky TV show is fire. So I'm not going to take your word for it 100%, but that made me
told it's really good too.
Me too. I've heard it from a few places.
A good friend online, Jimmy Boy.
Oh, Jimmy Boy, toast to Jimmy.
Canada, yep. And Jimmy Boy was telling me today. He asked me if I had watched Chucky the series yet, and I was kind of having this discussion with him a little bit about how it's not really my genre, and I probably won't ever watch it. But he is a big horror guy. It's one of his things. Wrestling is also another one of his big things. And I met him Friday the 13th. Before that, actually, with Uncharted, but he was big into the Friday the 13th
huge into the
game.
He was very good at it too.
Yep. He still fucking plays that.
Oh, he plays on one of the
almost exclusively on PS4. Yep.
Yeah, because they have some fake servers you can pop on. Jay, I do think I know Rocky IV has its love. Jay, are you excited about the release that's coming out soon? Sly's putting the director's cut with the extended fight sequences. They're doing a couple movie events, and then it will be released wide. They're doing a re-edit. On the heels of the success of the Snyder edit, a lot of other creators are finally getting their opportunity to release their director's cuts of the longer versions of the movies. And people that don't know this, we're going to do a rocket one.
All the time. You used to be able to go to the video store and find, here's the theatrical and here's the director's cut. Usually the video store would only release the director's cut.
Part of the reason of that, Joe,
theatrical cut in.
Part of the reason of that, Joe, because of the commercial breaks and those shows, most movies always being on commercial television, they would film they'd show the extra scenes on TV. Do you remember like when you'd watch Airplane or The Naked Gun or The Goonies or other movies and you'd watch it on television on Channel 56 or USA or TBS or whatever, there'd be extra scenes in the movie that weren't in the film cut.
They would cut them out and put in extra commercials.
No, but they add extra scenes. Like in The Goonies, you would sometimes see the octopus scene, or in The Naked Gun, you would see an extra scene here and there, or in Airplane, you would see an extra scene here and there that were filmed, that were in the director's cuts, that they'd show also in the television show. The Godfather also championed that with the Godfather television edition, where they showed you some of the cut scenes in a big edit called I forget what it was.
They could put them out for television as the director's cut because the theatrical release was already out. So this is now going to be the world premiere of the director's cut, stock full of 30 extra minutes of commercials with a 3-hour run length from 8 to 11 p.m.
Swordstone says, Phil, Jaws 2 had no soul. They should have brought Dreyfuss back. And I agree. It's tough. Richard Dreyfuss is an amazing thing, but I think he didn't have a great time on that shoot, if I've heard him talk about it. Him and Robert Shaw didn't get along, and I know Shaw wasn't there anyways, but I think in general, he had an awful time on that shoot, so I don't think he was coming back for anything, but I definitely love Richard Dreyfuss. He's another one of those underrated talents. I think he's exceptionally funny on Weeds. He shows up on Weeds randomly for a while, and he plays this really depressing kind of character, and he just does an exception. I love when actors break types like that and show you some of the different sides. I never considered Goonies a scary flick, even as a kid. Me neither, but
comedy action.
But some people did find some of those elements somewhat scary at times. But again, the things that scared me more as a kid were some of those weird TV shows, like, again, Tales from the Crypt. We talked a little bit about Tales from the Crypt earlier, but that was an exceptionally, like, some of those really scared me, or some of the Twilight Zones or Amazing Story ones. Those kind of...
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th didn't really scare me too much.
He was too old.
Maybe.
That was bad acting.
Jay left us a message. What happened to Dreyfuss? He disappeared off the scene. Like I said, the last thing I think I saw him in was Weeds. So here we go, Joe. Let's listen to a message from our good buddy Jay.
So I'm a little nervous because actually, like, Rocky 4 was like, well, it wasn't a perfect movie, but it was like the best one out of all the Rocky movies to me.
That's the one with the kid.
So, like, I'm hoping that like the new footage does.
Yeah, sorry. We'll play
the
the rest.
The robot in the mansion.
Yeah, happy birthday party. Happy birthday party. But some people do think that's
He gets a fucking robot, and all I get is this lousy shit. I hate you, Rocky.
No, you're confusing Rocky 3. That's when Rocky and Paulie fight, and he throws the beer at
Either way, he's still a dick.
Paulie. Yeah, Paulie's an ungrateful fucking dick. Uncle Paulie is like the worst. He's the fucking worst. He's gotten first of all, he starts off in Rocky 1 almost abusing Adrian, on the verge of abusing Adrian. And we're supposed to like, he's a great guy. And he's like, and then he like, and Rocky beats the shit, and suddenly in part 2 we like Paulie or something like that. And then part 3 he's like, he freaks out and is jealous of everything Rocky's doing, and he like screams at him and shit. He's like, "With me? Where's my piece, Rock?" He's like, "What the fuck? You shit talk me and beat my wife. What the fuck you think your fucking piece is, you
you're
dick?"
Lucky I don't beat your
Yeah,
ass.
you're lucky you're not in jail, you fucking psychopath. And then in 4 he gets the robot and he goes to Russia, and is an all right movie for. And then in 5 he loses all of Sly's money because he signs away all of his money to power of attorney.
With Joe Gunn.
Yes, and Johnny Gunn. Whatever the fuck his name was. Yes.
I think it's Joe Gunn is his real name.
No, his real name is Tommy Morrison. Tommy Gunn.
Tommy Morrison, yeah.
Tommy Morrison. But yes, in 5, Paulie loses all his money. He signs away all the money to power of attorney, loses all of Rocky's money. And then he's stuck with him when Adrian dies. Like, he is a curse to Rocky. Sorry, now let's play the rest of Jay's message. Sorry, Jay.
So, like, I'm
Fuck Paulie.
hoping that like the new footage doesn't like make the movie worse to me, or like take away something fundamentally that I liked, or retcon something I liked about the movie or something like that.
That would be horrible.
And also, hey Joe, if you thought the first season of Young Justice was good, but you just thought it was like too childish, then trust me when I say watch season 2 and watch season 3. It stays just season 2 gets way better, and like season 2 and 3 get like way more like adult themed and oriented. It definitely becomes more adult in seasons 2 and 3. All right, later.
Thank you, buddy.
It's still an awesome show.
and there's going to be a new season. Actually, this woman that I was lucky enough to interview at an Anime Boston just announced, Kerry Waldron, I believe is her name. She just announced she's going to be doing a voice on the new season of Young Justice. She can finally announce it because the new season will be out very, very soon. A lot of people do love Rocky 5. Sonic says, I agree, Rocky 5's the best of them all. Everyone has the Rocky movie that they like. The only one that everyone can agree on isn't the best Rocky movie is Rocky 5. Even Sylvester Stallone hates that one. He's like, that's the one I don't want to even fucking talk about. For Natalie says, for me, Christopher Lee playing Dracula, Christopher Lee playing Dracula at the time. As a kid, I was scared. And you had Admiral Tarkin playing Van Helsing and shit. Christopher Lee is scary as fuck. Just a natural scary guy.
Once bitten
with Jim Carrey before he was Jim Carrey.
Yeah, great horror movie.
Before he was Jim Carrey. I mean, he was Jim Carrey, but I think he has one Jim Carrey moment in the whole movie.
Great vampire movie.
Someone mentioned it. Swordstone mentioned Interview with the Vampire was a decent movie. I did enjoy it. If people don't know this, I don't know if I've talked about it on the show before, but we'll at least talk about the first episode because I'm not hopeful for this series.
Isn't there one coming out?
There's a new AMC series coming out. Interview with the Vampire being done.
I'll be watching that.
We'll be talking about it. We'll talk about the first episode.
I wonder if any of them will be in it.
No.
Cruz, Pitt, Slater.
No. Was Slater in it? Oh yeah, Slater was in it. Yeah, duh. The only one that I bet would have a hope is Kristen there. Bring it on.
Dunst?
Yeah, I think the Dunst could pop up.
Christian could too. Who's going to be doing the interview? Christian, a follow-up interview 30 years
When was
later.
the last time we saw Slater in Mr. Robot? I haven't seen him. I haven't had a...
he's actually a voice in something... Katie! What's Christian Slater a voice in that we were just watching? Something on Netflix. It just came out.
Katie is Joe's Alexa.
I didn't hear any of that.
We're gonna mute
is
Joe for a
Chris-
second while he talks to Katie. Give me an up when you're ready, Joe. Katie's Joe's Alexa. He's like, hey, Katie, what is this answer? And Rocky IV did have an amazing soundtrack. Whoever played Hellraiser, Oscar, Pinhead. Oh, Joe, you ready? Okay.
The Dark State.
Deep State. Yeah, it's like he plays I don't know. It's a cartoon on Netflix. It's probably in their top 10 by now this week. Where he plays.
Oh, is it new?
Yeah, it's new. It's It's about It's about the Deep State. It's a comedy animated thing about Deep State running the actual government and shit. It's over the top funny, and he plays the dad. Plays the main chick's dad.
I still want a sequel to Pump Up the Volume.
You'll find similarities to it. With Rick and Morty and with Futurama.
Ooh, Futurama is one of my favorite shows of all time. Yeah.
You'll kind of be like, this is a cross between the two, but it's probably, you'll even notice things like a little archery, but the biggest comparison is going to be a Futurama with Rick and Morty style.
Now, Joe, in the live chat, the real YT is mentioning a show that I still haven't watched, but now that's on Netflix, maybe I'll finally check it out in its entirety. And I think you were a fan of, you and Katie were fans of. Z Nation is on Netflix right now, Jackie C. Joe, do you recommend the show Z Nation?
That. I watched it all the way up, I think, until like about halfway through the last season. And then I finally I never went back. I was like, okay. When they get to the zombie cookies, I start losing it. But everything up until that point, I was on board with. I thought the show was fantastic. I thought it was campy. It knew it was campy. It played with its camp. It celebrated its camp. It was a lot like, okay, that show with Slater is called Inside Job.
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Alexa.
Yeah, Katie's our Alexa.
But that is, what did you just ask me about? What was I talking about?
Z Nation.
Z Nation, yeah. So it plays with its camp. It knows it can't be. It never takes itself too seriously, but it never loses focus on what it's really all about. It's very well done, and right from the start, you won't hear me complain about why haven't they done this, why haven't they done that, because they take any of that element out, because right from go, they're basically telling you this is not meant to be taken as though you were in this situation. This is like
the way you're describing
like a bad dream almost.
The way you're describing it reminds me of like you're talking about Santa Clarita Diet.
Like Army of Darkness. Like, what would you say?
Is it similar to a tone as Santa Clarita Diet?
I don't know. I still haven't, like, must confess, Phil, I know you've told me to. The Drew Barrymore thing keeps me, like, I see it, I'm like,
yeah, but Timothy Oliphant, I think you
it doesn't matter. I can't get
you don't like Drew. How can you not like Drew?
Great fucking deal breaker.
How can you not like Drew? I still never.
What
I don't
can
get that
you
one.
like? What do you like about Drew Barrymore? What I don't understand this fascination with Drew Barrymore. What?
It's not a fascination. I just enjoy. No, I don't think she sucks. I think she's just a good actress.
She's not a good actress. She's a horrible actress.
We'll agree.
And I'm sorry. I think she's fucking like.
That's beside the point.
Park her, I'll get on a boat and leave town. No, I'm just kidding.
Joe,
it's so horrible.
Joe, you're a bet. And I got the camera on you too. Oh my god. But
it's so horrible, right? Me of all people telling people to leave town because of the way they look, right?
Oh my god. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
You know, like crooked fucking smile.
Either of us. Yeah, come on. But
shoving ice cream and candy.
No, this is one of those takes you have that like, and I'm being this is a kinder, gentler evening, but there's like that just makes me need to play it because I disagree with you so fucking much. So I have to give you one. I have to give you one of these.
Hey, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Drew Barrymore is fucking awesome.
A lot of people say that too, right? Here's the thing.
Like, I like her show. I even like the Drew Barrymore show.
Here's the thing, Phil.
I watch her fucking show.
You've heard me say that about Timothy Burton, right?
Yep. No, there's a lot of people you don't like.
And here's the thing. You pointed out to me, you rattled off like 10 movies. You were like, shut the fuck up, Joe. You love Tim Burton. And I was like, no. And you were like, blah, 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 blah. You listed 10 of his movies. And I was like, oh, fuck. I'm a huge Tim Burton fan. I'm sorry, I can never say that.
Yeah, I think it was not Big Whale. The Whale, like that was the one that got you the most.
Big Fish.
Big Fish.
I wasn't thinking about Edward Scissorhands,
Beetlejuice,
the original Batmans. Yep. There's like even more than that. Like I was just thinking about the movies of his I knew I didn't like, so I didn't like him. But like, there's so many more that I do like. Anyway, also Charlize Theron, but that's someone who I hated all the beginning of her movies. The Yards. Astronaut's Wife, The Devil's Advocate, The Road. All of those are great movies, arguably.
I mean, in fairness,
right? But she plays the same role in all of those movies.
In fairness, you hate Anthony Hopkins for some strange fucking reason too.
Because for that same reason, that same role. But here's the thing: Charlize Theron, as of lately, I've seen her break out of that mold and. She's no longer being just cast as this neurotic breakdown woman, or like even with like it was Atomic Blonde that really started making me think. I didn't like the Mad Max remake. She's not bad in it.
Oh, I like that.
I just don't I don't really particularly like the movie that much compared to the originals.
Oh, I thought it was pretty good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it's good, I guess, but like here's the thing. Like I liked it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that's a bad movie, but I also liked with the smokers in the Waterworld.
Oh, God.
Right, but I like that because of Hopper. I like that because
God. Yeah, I like Super Mario Brothers. I like Super Mario Brothers because of Hopper, but it's not a good fucking movie.
Right, exactly. That's why I said I didn't call it a good movie. I said I liked it. Right? Like, and I liked that movie with Charlize Theron, but I don't think it's a good movie. But like I think she's getting better and she's allowed to do more. That movie with her and Seth Rogen is so good. But Drew Barrymore, right? There's a couple movies I like with her in it. Okay, 50 First Dates. I think that's a cute movie. I kind of like it. The original Charlie's Angels movie. I mean, goddamn, fucking.
But that's a
Lucy Liu and what's her name are in that movie next to her. And I can't, every time they come on screen, my jaw fucking drops open. Not Heather Graham. What's her name? Fucking,
Cameron Diaz.
Cameron Diaz. She's in that movie there that you showed me with Christina Applegate.
That's a really great movie. What is it? What's that movie called? Someone in the live chat can help me out.
I don't know, but that is so good.
Selma Blair's in it as well. It's called. AK is gonna save me here probably.
Oh God, Selma Blair is so hot in them. All three of them.
It's just a good. But whatever. But it's just a good fucking movie.
But back to what's her name? Drew Barrymore. I've never really particularly think she cannot hold down any movie or leading role to me.
See, I just disagree. I'm not
good as a supporting actress.
I'm not gonna.
She moves.
I'm not gonna, and I love it all. I think she's one of those people that her personality carries through, just to offer the alternative perspective and how I feel about it. I feel like she's one of those actresses that her personality bleeds through every performance, and she's locked in, and she's been locked in since she was a kid. But
that's just it. Her personality bleeds through in every performance, and then you're left with this Drew Barrymore. You're not left with the character on screen. I'm just watching Drew Barrymore.
The best actor, Joe. For me, the best actors do both at the same time, and she does. She's to me one of the best actors we've had in like the last 20 years.
I do not believe you believe that, Phil.
I do.
Drew Barrymore is one of the best actors that we've had.
I do. I think she's one of the best actresses you can get into your movie.
Shut the fuck up, Phil.
No.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay. Okay. It's in fair. Again, you're going on record that you're somebody that hates Anthony Hopkins.
Diet. This started with Katie's asking what she's done in the last 20 years, and so I'm pointing out this Santa Clara's Diet, and maybe also 50 First Dates. I don't know anything else in the last 20 years that she has done. Maybe also the Charlie's Angels movies fall in the last 20 years as well. But none of those, and I haven't seen
That's
Santa
just
Clara's Diet.
acting.
I haven't seen Santa Clara's Diet, but none of those would
I
constitute
love
one
her.
of the best
Now-
actresses in the last 20 years.
Now Jackie says 50 First Dates was Drew's worst movie. Dude, fuck your taste, is Jackie.
And that's just it. Like it may be one of her worst movies, and I think she's horrible in it. But that's not what I like about it. I like Sandler and fucking Shorty there. You can do it,
Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider, right? Like I love those two. Almost everything I see them in, for some not every Adam Sandler movie, but
no, I mean, again,
But God,
this is one of those
it's
situations, Joe. This is one of those situations where I'm not going to argue with you because we're so.
and Nicolas Cage, yes, thank you, Jesse J2G. Nicolas Cage is another one.
No, he wasn't
on
compared.
the podium, standing next to fucking Drew Barrymore as the most overranked.
He
piece
wasn't
of shit
saying that.
fucking actors of all
Joe,
time.
Joe,
thank you.
Joe, he didn't say that in the live comment. He said Drew Barrymore and Nicolas Cage in the next
No,
MCU.
Phil, I know what I read.
No,
and I
you're-
read it, and I don't have a scroll on my mouse, and that said they belong to
I'm muting Joe right now because Joe
ever.
Joe is now hallucinating comments to serve his purpose.
Hey, don't fuck her. I may be dyslexic, but I know what I read.
You hallucinated the comment. You hallucinated it.
Yes, Rob Schneider does suck, Jackie C.
And
But there's a charm about him. Making the copies. Since then, he's been with me. He's my boy, Rob Schneider.
DJ says
know.
I love Drew. She's just not one of the best actors. I accept that. No, it's just she's one of my. I should say she's one of my favorite actresses of all time. I'm constantly charmed by her every time she's on my screen. But to Joe's point, it's more about her personality than necessarily her melting into roles. But there's a lot of roles she has melted into. But let's move on to a different subject. Will Whitey says no way Drew's the best in 20 years. Phil, come on, shut the fuck up. Okay, I'll shut the fuck up. But to change our subject here, we got Jay left us a couple of voicemails here. Let's listen to what Jay has to say.
We're just going to talk about actors we hate. I hate Jack Black to the point where when I found out about the new Giamatti movie with The Rock, I wanted to see the movie, and then I found out Jack Black was in it. I no longer wanted to go see it, and I didn't. Yeah, so if we're just going to talk about actors we hate, I hate that dude to the point where I just won't go see any movie if he's in it. And
Fair enough.
I
He's
think
acquired.
there have been movies maybe he's been in that have been good, but they've been good despite him, and I can only really think of one, and that was
Jungle.
some
Jungle.
movie with
Tropic Thunder.
He's got a lot of great. I mean, I'm a fan, so I'm gonna name 10 of his movies I like.
It's killing me. Damn, I don't even remember the movie. If I remember, I'll call back later.
And he's got one more voicemail he left too. Let's
This is the callback.
yeah, he called back. Let's see if he remembered.
It was Saving Silverman. Yeah, that's the only movie I've seen him in.
We're gonna talk about
It's like one
Saving.
of his first movies,
but,
too.
It was good despite him or whatever. I
what
didn't
was he
even
in? He
really
played-
like Kung
One
Fu
second.
Panda.
He was in Mars Attacks.
And
He was in a lot. He was in tons.
oh yeah,
Mars
and I
Attacks.
guess Tropic Thunder is another one.
Tropic Thunder. There you go. Yep.
But actually, no, I don't know. I'm not really a fan of that movie. I haven't seen it enough times.
But-
to really
Come on, booty sweat.
But
Want some
but
booty juice.
anyways, onto Jack Black for a second here. I get it. He's definitely, as Joe said, he's an acquired taste, but I generally love his movies. Saving Silverman is almost more of a Jason Biggs movie. He's like a secondary role in that movie with the dude from That Thing You Do, playing the guitar player from That Thing You Do.
He's also from Sahara, and he's from a lot of things.
Yeah, I like that
From a
guy.
lot of things.
I like that guy. He's charming as shit.
I'm so happy.
But to me, Jack Black is like a national treasure. But I get that not everyone's gonna like him the same way.
That's twice in one night. That Thing You Do has come up.
Yeah, and by the way, Jack Black, I wanted to talk about this anyways. The Super Mario Brothers movie got announced a while ago, and we have the voice actors that are playing the different Mario characters. We got Jack Black's playing the voice of Bowser, I believe.
Oh, now SM's not going to go see that.
Yeah, no, he's done. Chris Pratt is being Mario. What's his name from Always Sunny is Luigi. Charlie Day is Luigi.
Which one? Charlie. Okay.
Charlie Day is Luigi, which
There's
is
two Charlies. Charlie Day is the shorter Charlie of the two Charlies.
yes, and Seth Rogen is Donkey Kong, And so I'm kind of interested to see it as a Super Mario fan. I'm not sure.
Is this going to be oriented towards children or towards adults?
If Chris Pratt is Mario, I'm guessing Charlie Day is Luigi. I'm guessing adults, right?
See, no, I'm still going kids.
You think it's going to be kids?
You can't tell by who the actor is.
General audience.
Actors go for paychecks.
Joe,
they go for a lot of
but
reasons.
before I say a movie that you're probably going to hate that I really love, did you like Wreck-It Ralph?
I don't know if I've seen.
Great movie.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph's one of my favorite animated.
I might have seen some of it.
I'm hoping it's going to have a similar tone. If it's like that, like a Pixar movie, which is for adults and kids.
Like the Lego movie, I thought was the first Lego movie was fucking great. I don't mind shit oriented towards children. I think Disney has traditionally, for the most part, Pixar as well, has traditionally, because they have to think about the audience they're trying to bring. They want to make sure that the parent isn't going to want to like stab themselves in the face.
But Pixar also is amazing at doing what like Warner Brothers and old school Disney did, in a sense of making stuff for all ages, not just kids.
Yes.
People, and I think in some of the Pixar copies, DreamWorks films, like they do it as well. And I think Wreck-It Ralph is one of those movies that really plays to all audiences. And both of them, the princess scene that we get with the Disney princesses and stuff is fucking amazing. I think that's in the second one. And that's
what was that Mel Gibson movie with the chickens? I don't want to
Chicken Run.
I love that movie.
And that's a good movie. Good, interesting
Over
animation.
Over the hedge. Play.
And Sonic, to answer your question, not a live action Mario. It's going to be an animated Mario, but those are the voice actors.
Okay.
They announced it actually on a Nintendo Direct, which leads me to believe that Joe is right. That's going to be more kid-oriented, but I think there are going to be some references in stuff here and there. As we're almost up to about 2 hours here, we're going to start to wrap things up pretty soon here.
This was supposed to be a quick.
Yeah, we're going to come out here for 20 minutes to test out a new connection. To see how this works compared to our other connection. I think for the most part, it's worked just as well. I think we'll do Zoom occasionally, and we'll do this occasionally. I think we have to just tweak your audio a little bit this way next time to get you coming a little bit because you're so clear. You're so clear that we could turn you down even more, and then I could just jack up your volume type stuff. So we'll work on that a little bit before. The Super Mario Brothers cartoon back in the day, the Mario rep. We're the Mario Brothers, and we're here to say something. Do the Mario. We're
the Bears, and we're here to say.
No, did I just do the Super Bowl? Did I do the Super Bowl rap?
Man is the shuffling today.
I got sunglasses, and it's okay. Hey, we're gonna beat the Patriots, yay! But yeah, I
might be a little tipsy after a couple of these.
Oh, me too. I've been drinking in a couple of weeks. I've been drinking since the last Walking Dead cast. I
think. I literally drink like 3 times a fucking year.
Oh, we got Ghost Wolf in the live chat. I like the old Super Mario cartoon as well, where you had Captain Lou Albano, and I appreciated every Friday you got the Legend of Zelda thing, which was really awesome as well. It's the Mario Brothers, and it's do the Mario do. I mean, I don't care if this thing gets flagged. Let me play this thing.
Everybody had their song, and like Ghostbusters did it so well.
Oh, the Ghostbusters cartoon?
Everybody needed to have a song.
The Ghostbusters cartoon was really fucking an underrated kind of awesome cartoon too. Let's see if you guys can hear this when the commercial plays.
The Dungeons & Dragons cartoon was awesome.
Can you hear this?
No, I can't.
The audio is horrible, so I don't want to play it too much.
Yeah, no, don't play it.
No.
Don't ever play that again, Phil.
Phil, do not ever play that again. But that's the song for you. My kids watch that Mario show on Netflix. Don't do our song like that, Phil. There you go. Oh, it's horrible. Nick Cage is one of those people that just engulfs being a horrible actor in the best way possible. But I enjoy so many Nick Cage movies. That's where it's like you get into that good actor versus a movie that's just entertaining. I mean, would you have liked to see that Superman movie we never saw with Nicolas Cage playing Superman, Joe? Like somewhere in your mind, wouldn't you have loved to see Nicolas Cage play Superman? I mean, it would just been a hilarious movie.
With Nicolas Cage, I think he is trash among trash in actor land. Now, everybody says Raising Arizona,
great movie.
Leaving Las Vegas,
right?
And to which I say, you know what? Okay, no, that's not what I'm saying.
You do better, Joe.
Movies, I may not be able to do better.
You could be. I'll put you in the. I'll put you in the writers' room, but you can't act better than Nick Cage.
And maybe I can. Maybe I can, Phil. Maybe I can. But the thing is, what makes a lot of his movies good, and I like a lot of Nicolas Cage movies.
They're great. That's what I'm saying.
I like National Treasure.
Face Off.
No.
You don't like Face Off?
No.
What's wrong with
Face Off. I don't like a lot more Nicolas Cage movies than I do like. But
Con Air.
I like the Ghost Rider movie, the first one. Second one's not so bad either. Like
I don't really.
I was a real fan of Ghost Rider too, the comic book. Like, and here's the thing. Like, he sucks. He really is bad at his job. The only reason why he got the opportunity he got and was able to manifest
because of who his uncle is
because of his family. Correct. And that's the same with a lot of people.
If people that don't know, it's
that particular industry.
Francis Ford Coppola, I believe he's related to.
Yes, and there's a lot of people in that industry that get a pass, or they'll say, "Oh, well, I went to this school or that school, and I used a different name, or I didn't want them to know who I was when I went on this audition, and that's what really got me my first role." But
Joe,
and it's all bullshit.
But who doesn't like Face Off?
Fuck yourself. Who are you trying to fucking kid? Everybody knows who the fuck everybody is, and you're fucking kidding yourself if you don't think that these casting directors and casting agents and the people who are doing the fucking auditions don't look up exactly who the fuck you are and where you come from.
Do you know one of my funny
people?
I don't mean to agree. I don't mean to agree with you because some of what you're saying, I just want to say shut the fuck up when you don't like Face Off. But there's a funny story that Tori Spelling likes to tell that when she auditioned for 90210, they didn't know that she was Aaron Spelling's daughter.
Yeah,
she's like,
bullshit.
She's like, I went in there and like I put an assumed name and they totally didn't know I was Aaron Spelling. It's like, shut up, Tori.
Right, and I didn't put in my acting credit that I was on Saved by the Bell before I went
credited
on
as Tori Spelling. But anyways, we got a super chat donation from Jesse. Says running the ball is like making romance. Walter Payton, great stuff. Let me spin the wheel for you. Let me run over here, Joe, and spin the wheel for. Big money, no whammies, and it gets on. Ooh, oh no, I don't know if I can do that right now.
Did you stop that with your hand on push-ups or some shit?
No, I didn't. If I wanted to put my hand on it, I wouldn't have landed on what it landed on. It just looked like that. I was looking at it. It landed
Masturbate on YouTube?
No. That's you have to land on green 5 times for that. It's drum fun, but it's kind of late to play drums right now. So Jesse, next time you see me doing one of these during the day, tell me to play you a drum solo and I'll do it for you. I just can't really do it at 11 o'clock.
We'll rack it out at the beginning and you'll do the next one and you'll just have to rewind.
Exactly. I will remember to owe you a drum solo, and for now I will take a shot in your name for your thanks for the super chat donation, my friend. And Nicolas Cage would be a perfect drunk Doctor Strange. I think. Okay, this is where I disagree with you about Nick Cage. Is I don't think he's a talented actor, but again, I think he's somebody that can play certain roles really well if a role is written specifically for him, i.e., like the character.
Yeah, if you want. Exactly.
Like Raising Arizona, his character works in that role. In Face Off, his character works in that role, being over the top and all fucking
God.
Like I love it.
I can't even don't.
I eat that shit for breakfast, Joe. I love Face Off. I fucking love that movie. I really do. It's horrible. It is horrible, but I love it. I love every horrible frame of that fucking movie in the way that people.
You know what I just did? You see what I just did that to you, Phil?
Yeah, you slapped me across my face.
No. Isn't that from that movie?
Oh, you took off my face.
No,
off. Yeah, your face off.
No, that's what he does to his wife all the time.
Oh, fucking Travolta. That's his. That's
Just like he wipes down his fucking wife's face. You ever do that to a woman, Phil? You ever just drag your fingers from the fucking tip of their fucking hair, your palm of your fucking hand, and your fingers down to her fucking chin?
Truth? Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And how does she like that? Was she like, oh, that's so cute and special. I can't believe you do that to me all the time, and I don't fucking smack you across the face because I got all this fucking makeup on and get you dirty fucking fingers that you've been scratching your ass and your dick with off my fucking face.
I don't know about
you. I don't know how easy this shit breaks up. You know how much time I spend on this fucking face before I got to go be a doctor or whatever the fuck I do in that fucking universe there? Come on.
I don't know about some of your taste. I don't know about some of your
down some woman's face. Yeah, touch her hair while you're at it. Go play with her fucking hair. Yeah. How quick do you want to find yourself out of the fucking curb? Fucking stupid ass movie. Let me drag my filthy hand down your face.
Oh, Joe. Now, Cage actually used his real... I so want to play Shut the Fuck Up over and over at you tonight, Joe. Phil, you're off the rails, Joe. How do you pick between 400 Nick Cage movies? I love how Nick Cage is like, I'm just going to make movies until I die. Ghost Wolf. Great to see Ghost Wolf in the live chat.
I've seen almost all the Nick Cage.
Yeah, you hate them. You're shit talking.
Which is the sad thing for a fucking guy I hate so much. I have literally seen almost every fucking Nick Cage
Yeah, you can't
movie.
get enough, dude. You've watched...
It's fucking awful.
Last night...
Maybe that's my real guilty pleasure is that I fucking watch every Nick Cage
Yeah,
movie.
that and Drew, that and you watch
sucks.
every Drew... You apparently have seen every Drew Barrymore movie, too.
I think I fucking have, dude. It's because dude, I watch Swedish movies. I watch English movies. I watched 3 English movies yesterday. All fucking
Lilyhammers doesn't count.
Murder on the Tyne, fucking Emma's from Middleborough, and fucking Dial M for Middleborough, some shit. Like, I watched all 3 of them. They were fucking, like, horribly not funny good. Funny.
Fucking asshole.
I can't stop, Phil.
Joe needs an intervention, guy. Jackie's been trying to give you an intervention all night. It's not fucking working. I'd rather watch Blade than Ghost Rider every day, 100 times.
Oh, Blade is a great movie. Blade is
Wesley Snipes is one of the amazing talents of our time. I really feel like he's so underrated. And as much as I am excited because I am a fan of the actor that they got to, Marshawn Ali or whatever his name is. I killed his name, but he's amazing in everything he is. He was great in True Detective, great in the parts of Luke Cage he's in. Like, so pretty much everything this guy's been in, he's awesome, and he's going to be a great Blade. It's one of those characters I'm like, it's almost like having somebody else play Freddy Krueger. It's like, as long as
Snipes in Blade,
the new Blade but the new Blade that's coming out, they recast it.
But he's in it.
I don't think Snipes is going to be in the new movie. No,
I think he is.
I did not read that. I hope you're right and I'm wrong, but I feel like
he's probably going to be playing the old guy's role.
No, I don't think Snipes is in it. I don't. But I could be wrong. If I am wrong, I'm happily wrong. I'm fucking happily. When the movie comes out, if he's in it, Joe, I'll happily eat fucking Katie Crow for you. I'll eat some crow.
Dude, not just the Wicker Man, the Matchstick Man sword. Dude, and my father-in-law was in the fucking Matchstick Man with Nick Cage, walking through the fucking terminal with him. I got a fucking still shot of him over there on the shelf.
JM in the live chat, a new name. Thank you so much for popping in. An Italian classic, Me Liza, for Joe to check that out. Joe, if you want to poop on Cage movies, there's always The Wicker Man.
Yeah, that's what I was just commenting on that.
Carrie Fisher is also born in Hollywood. Do you hate her too, Joe? Do you hate Carrie Fisher?
Well, I mean,
because she's a fan. She's legacy.
I mean, I didn't say I hate all legacy. I said it happens all the fucking time, and there's far too many people that it happens for that it should never have happened for. And there's millions of fucking hard-working, extremely talented people in this industry. One of them, this kid that watches our show all the time, has a really popular
the
TikTok
Walking David
channel out there that like, he's really good at the shit he does, and maybe if he had the family members that some of these people have, we wouldn't know who he was on this show.
Hey,
but
I
we'd
wish
know who he was on the silver fucking screen because he's really
Joe.
fucking
I wish
good
I
at the
was.
shit he
I wish I
does.
was Jerry Seinfeld's nephew and had like bit parts on Seinfeld. I think I would have been good.
Right?
I think I could have popped up and
Don't we all like and like it just that is something that really upsets me because I know even it's not even for me. It's that I know like okay, Phil, you were in that show that show you did in Marblehead.
Oh, the play. Yeah.
The play. Yep. The guy that played the agent, I believe, the fast talking.
Yes.
He was really fucking good.
Bob Odenkirk-ish.
Like, yeah, he was really like.
He's a great
about
guy.
That performance, and I think about a lot of those scenes, and when I do, the scenes I think about most are some of the ones with him in them,
Yeah.
and I think. He was really good. He had stage presence. He moved really well. He delivered his lines really well.
He's a good dude too.
Good volume on him and shit. Like, I could see him in roles on television that maybe he would have had a chance for if it wasn't just, oh, well, so-and-so's kid needs a role. Let's see what they're doing. Oh, that kid's not available. Maybe we can get this other name. If that's how it works, or maybe it's DTT, can you get my fucking kid a role? If that's how it works, but there's a lot of people out there that are really good at what they do that don't have the opportunity. Because
funny story about that play I was in, Joe. The woman that played the German agent as well was in plays with Mike Ehrmantraut, Jonathan Banks. She knows him. She's friends with him. She refers to him as Banksy. She showed me some pictures with her and him. So nice. Indirectly, I got to work with someone that worked with Jonathan Banks.
Right. And I'm sure you can get to fucking Bacon 1 or 2 steps from
yeah, exactly. I might have a Kevin Bacon. You do 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon to me maybe now through Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. If you can connect anyone to Kevin Bacon through those shows, and I'm sure Bryan Cranston and Kevin Bacon have worked together. Like I'm somewhere. I'm a couple of things in the live chat as we're starting to wrap things up. I'm not in an immediate hurry, but we'll start to wrap things up in the next 15 minutes or so. Wesley played Blade in What We Do in the Shadows. Iron Throne, yes, he was in the 4400 before he was cool. That was one of his early roles. The 4400 is a good series. I marred the 4400 for a long time because a mutual friend of Joe and I's, or actually an indirect friend so close that's somewhat family, really liked the 4400, and I had a hair across my ass about her. So I purposely didn't watch it for a long time, but it's a pretty good show with a lot of good performances. The Big B, loved that show. And because she loved it so much, I sort of was like, fuck this show. A lot of people. There's a lot of people on that show. Check it out if you want. It's very of the age. It's dated, but it's a pretty good show. Has anyone seen the Blade TV series from Spike? I have not. Joe, we got a question directly for you as I'm going to pour 1 or 2 more shots here. Joe, who do you hate worse? Nick Cage or Ivar the Boneless? Ooh, he's good. Wait.
It's not really who do I hate worse?
Joe, who do you hate more, Ivar the Boneless?
It would be Nick Cage. I mean, I was just trying to think, what else have I seen? The kid that plays Ivar in, it's the only thing I've seen him in. If I was judging, in just by the first episode that he's in Vikings and just raising Arizona, I would say I hate Nick Cage more. Because at least Ivar is... I mean, that's a totally different kind of... You can't really compare those 2 roles to begin with like that.
Phil, did you watch Curb season 11? I watched the first episode. I haven't watched tonight's episode because we're doing this, but I will be checking it out afterwards. I always hesitate to do recap shows on comedies. It's tough because it's a lot of, oh, that was funny. I think comedies are easier to talk about from a personal standpoint. I think the only comedy I really love doing is when we did Orville stuff. And when that does come back, I want to talk about that series again with you. And speaking of anyone, he got brought up earlier in the chat. It'll probably be the last thing we get from Norm Macdonald because all of his lines are filmed for the season. Were recorded for the season, so he will be in the new season of the Orville. So I am excited for that. But I always feel like it's tough to do reviews of comedy stuff because
you've said this before. Comedy is too subjective.
For me it is because I can't tell someone that something's funny. I can't, because everyone finds
someone that something's like. You'll tell someone something's good.
Yep.
Drama wise.
Oh yeah.
Funny wise.
I will, because I think by drama has more of a more Mendoza line of where you can tell if it's believable and someone's in it. And wait, if someone's believable in doing the part and you don't see them breaking the focus and performing a dramatic level, that to me is a marketable, like almost sporting like talent that you can sort of mark and check mark. Funny, you can't tell me. Some people who like, I can go and they laugh their asses off and that's fucking funny, and you can't tell them that that's not funny.
No, but what? So my thing is, and you say the same thing. I say the same thing, right? Like, here's the thing. Drama is also subjective, right? Some people might find one drama
is objective. Drama is there's good and there's bad.
Hold on, no.
To me, there is.
Hear me out.
I'll hear you out.
Some people might say, like, Schindler's List was so moving, it was so dramatic.
That's such a random one to pick.
And then someone might say, it isn't. It wasn't that compelling, and it seemed like all bullshit. And then those same two people might have the exact opposite point of view as, like, Not My Daughter with Sally Field.
No,
right?
Okay.
So with that being said, when I tell people something is funny, I tell them in what sense it's funny as well.
Fair.
Right? Like I was explaining with Z Nation earlier and comparing it to The Walking Dead, which I've done many times on the show. Z Nation is a funny show. It's campy. It knows it's campy. That's the kind of show you're about to go watch.
See,
whereas you can say, but it's not just if you like zombies. It's a very different kind of zombie show than The Walking Dead.
Now,
so you can't say like I like zombie shit because they're very
now to tag in here. I understand what you say. You make a good point in the sense of the way you could define drama being good or bad. But being what you like and what it moves you specifically. For me, I feel like I can separate that easier with drama and say something makes me feel something or doesn't make me feel, but I can still judge it on whether it's good or bad. With comedy, I feel like even stuff that's bad can be funny. If bad drama, it doesn't move me either. So I understand what you're saying in the sense that drama, what moves me and what doesn't move me, is subjective. You're right about that. Something that's going to move you isn't going to necessarily move me, but both things, if they're done quality-wise, I think you can see with your eyes that that's a good performance. And whether it moves you or not. With comedy, I think it's a little different, that even bad comedy performance, even when you watch Saturday Night Live and you see somebody like breaking character and laughing and being awful in the scene, it can still be funny somehow. And so I think by that definition, it's hard to define truly what's funny. You can define what is a good put together production, like Friends or Arrested Development the first couple of seasons, or How I Met Your Mother early, or Cheers or Frasier or Seinfeld is a good scripted comedy. But you can't, and I don't like Friends. I don't find Friends funny. No matter how many times I try to watch Friends. Wait 1 second. I don't find it funny, but I still know it's good. And that's
the thing. That's the exact thing. Is Not Without My Daughter and Schindler's List. They are both good movies. Like, period. They're both really good movies, award-winning movies that are very compelling and very dramatic. But one may be your type of drama movie.
No, fair.
One may not.
Fair. Now let's leave it here before we get too redundant on this point. Natalie says some actors are made for some roles, some can play everything. That's very true. Someone like Gary Oldman, for instance, I think can play pretty much any kind of role he wants. Whereas some actors are meant to play. Jack Nicholson is amazing for me, and he could fall into that trap of what Joe says, playing the same kind of thing in every role. But I think
like that dude that we were talking about from Silence.
But I think Jack Nicholson kills it in every performance playing Jack because he's cast very well in roles
and
that.
What's his name kills it in every performance too? The guy from Silence of the Lambs. I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah, Sonic says In Living Color and SNL from the 90s, the last comedies I found funny. I love that era. A lot of people tell me
that's my favorite era was SNL's the 90s.
Is the 90s, but I think in general the 90s had the best era of sketch comedy because you didn't just have SNL, you had SNL, you had In Living Color, you had The State, you had Kids in the Hall, you had Mr. Show, you had that other show,
Upright Citizens Brigade,
and then you had that Friday night show that Fox did or something too. It was with a lot of really funny people too that gets forgotten about sometimes. It was like a Friday
TV.
It was a Friday, but Mad TV too. But then you had like a Friday Night Live.
Friday Night Live, yep.
Or whatever it was called. I don't know if it was called Friday Night Live, but
that might have been 80s Friday Night Live.
I think it was early 90s, but I could be wrong. But you had so many great. We had another super chat donation from Jesse. Who? Me? We? Us? Them? You? People like us? Get the fuck out of here. But yeah, Anthony Hopkins falls into that Jack Nicholson thing with you too. I think Anthony Hopkins does excellent playing the Anthony Hopkins character in every role.
I love Meet Joe Black. I think that movie is fucking great. Like, tear-jerking, all the rest of it. Funny.
Silence of the Lambs is excellent.
Silence of the Lambs. Excellent. Now, I wouldn't call those two characters the same in any respect.
I don't think his character in Zorro, you add Zorro too. I think him in Zorro, I think him in Titus Androgynous.
Right. No. He's got a very wide
Andronica
range. And I think he is a fantastic talent. And I've said that, and I hope I've really made that clear. I just think in Westworld, he's doing the same thing we've seen him do countless times. He's Joe Black. The one with Alec Baldwin where they're killing bears in the woods. And various others. Yeah, the one where he's like playing like the movie The Rock with Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery. He's like the Sean Connery character. He knows the woods better than anybody else, and he's helping them through. No, they're both rich, and they're both like rich executives.
Oh, I'm thinking of a different movie.
Woods, and Alec Baldwin wants to take over the.
I'm with Sonic Joe. I think Westworld is one of his best performances, but whatever.
One of his best repeat performances. It's the best he does.
Why is it okay, Joe? I don't. Why is it okay for a musician to play their hit songs, but you get all bent out of shape when an actor does it? Sometimes it's okay. I don't mind seeing Anthony Hopkins play Anthony Hopkins because he's done it so many.
That's not a problem, Phil. That's not a problem. I love watching Silence of the Lambs over and over again. I love listening to
Why can't he do that?
Stealing over and over again. However, when a new album comes out, say Kettle Whistle, or say a new movie comes out, or a television series,
say Westworld, douchebag,
right? I want something new. I don't want an album that has Been Caught Stealing on it live version.
Joe,
in this 30 seconds
bullshit. Bullshit. I want
an extra, which is cool, but how many times can you put that on an album? We don't need 5 albums with Been Caught Stealing. 7 albums with Been Caught Stealing.
Are you going to stop ranting for a second here? Because I agree. Because that's bullshit. Because I don't like it when bands organically change into certain things. But no, you haven't bought a new Jane's Addiction album in 20 fucking years because they're not making songs that are as good as fucking Been Caught Stealing. So let them do that again.
Hold
on. Let me finish. You ranted for a second. I'm going to mute you because you ranted for a second. It's my turn here. So fuck that. Because I don't care if bands try different things but I want a couple cuts on the song, just like that thing you do, third time for the night. Record your songs alone with your fucking principals too. But I want 1 or 2 fucking poppy fucking hits, motherfuckers, because then you fall into the Chili Peppers problem. because I don't get funk music or dirty fucking heavy music from the Chili Peppers. All I get is fucking emo music. I don't want the new shit all the time. Do both. And Anthony Hopkins, for instance, is someone that does both. He gives you his hits, the West Royal characters, but then he tries different shit too. So if you're going to try different shit too on some of the cuts on the album, you can play the songs that are like everything else too, because give me the hits too. You want to go to a Jane's Addiction song and you want to see them play with a fucking mandolin for 3 hours? No, you want to hear dirty fucking rock and roll, dude. Shut up.
Well, no. When I go see a live show, I want to hear my hits that I loved, that I groove to. Yes, absolutely. But here's the thing: do I want to go see Anthony? If I went to go see Anthony Hopkins live, I don't want to go see him do like fucking the same performance every night, right? Like you wouldn't want to go see the same Jane's Addiction show every night. Or any of those shows for that matter. But like the thing is I find it less, I don't like it as much in that medium, just like in my picture art, from comic books or from if I go to a museum, I don't want to just look at impressionists. If I go look at Monet's, all the Monets are going to look the same in a respect. All the Picassos look the same in respect. All the Dalis look the same in a respect. But
that's the style. Like
that's their particular artistic style.
I guess this is where we differ, and we'll leave it here on this point. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, I like when an artist that does a particular thing particularly good gives me as much of that particular thing I like as they possibly can stomach. And
that's I understand that.
Because
when you see Mona Lisa, you don't realize that there's like 30 Mona Lisas painted, right?
I want to eat as much as Gordon Ramsay's food as I possibly can, because all the meals he cooks are fucking awesome. So I don't care if he uses some of the similar techniques on every single meal.
Who are you fucking kidding?
I know, I'm not me. Not me. Not me.
You're going to go up to Gordon Ramsay and you're going to say, can you make a Chef Boyardee meatball?
No,
put it in a can
Joe,
for
not
7
me.
months and then
Not me. The theoretical me that's normal. That's a normal eater. Yes, because if I went to Gordon Ramsay, could you make me plain pasta with a little bit of tomato sauce?
Oh God, talk about Hell's Kitchen. You'd see Hell's Kitchen right then and there.
Dude, I want to see that. I want to see that show where I make Gordon Ramsay eat SpaghettiOs my way. You know, I'm like, and then you take the meatballs out and you put them in a little bread and you make a little fucking meatball thing.
Meatball sandwich.
Oh, holy shit! We got Anna Banana, one of our longtime viewers, one of my favorite people. I love you, Anna. Great to see Anna in the live motherfucking chat. I love the off screens. I don't know. We don't know what you're talking about, Anna. We're like that 70s show here. The camera's always moving. Let's get a couple more comments, then we'll start to wrap things up here. Sometimes both a band and an actor can get bored or uninspired from doing their old stuff over and over again. And that's why you always have to keep things fresh and always kind of have to keep doing different things. And I think both of us understand that from what we like to do creatively or even athletically, like changing up what we do. You know, sometimes you like to jog, especially when you could do it. Sometimes you play basketball, sometimes you walk, sometimes you hike. So, you know, you got to change up the action, change up what you like doing. Joe, you spend a lot of time and you go through phases where you draw, you go through phases where you write, you go through phases where you want to learn to play musical instruments, you go phases where you're into this more than you're not. And same with me. I go in phases where I want to do a play, where I want to play more music, or where I'm more into doing this than I am. You know, there's times where we're more
when I see an actor, this is what I want. I want to see them open up, right, and give me something new every time.
Joe, did I give you something new as an actor? Or did I just I was just me, right? Wasn't I just me?
No, you weren't just you, Phil. You were very much not just you.
I felt I was playing more confident than the real me. What was it like seeing me acting in front of you? Was it weird? How bad did I suck? Was I believable, or is it?
Oh, if you want, do you want Phil the Issues Guy Joe Dirtylocks review of that show?
Bring it.
Do you want your best friend to tell you about his experience at the theater that night?
I want
Do you want?
I'm
true, but okay, nice.
I want raw. You see me in 2 or 3 plays. You see me in 3.
I'm kidding. I've seen you in 2. I saw you.
Did you see me in any of the North Shore stuff?
Yes. Okay, so 3. Because I saw you at the
park
Rose Garden.
The park, yeah, the Shakespeare one.
Yeah, and I saw you at the middle school theater.
Yeah, the Sound of Music.
And I saw you at this one. So
this one.
3.
So you've seen me 3 times. Was I myself every time?
No, because here's the thing. Okay, first off, Sound of Music. Did you have one line or did you have no line?
I had a handful of lines. I was the butler. I had a lot of lines.
Okay, and
no, I wasn't much. That was me. I was just walking around.
And I was on mushrooms, I think, that night.
Yeah, you were. You guys were tripping. You guys were definitely tripping.
So that was a fun show.
Yeah, it was. It was
enjoyed
good times.
And you definitely weren't you because that was the first time I saw you on stage. So that was all different.
I'm definitely a failure of Nick Cage level. That's true.
At the Rose Garden, that was a different experience as well.
That was more. I was me. I was actually me doing.
Yeah.
That the nature of that show was it was all of us giving a show. You know, like
see when I see you on stage at Frightening Dick or with
the Force,
that is you.
Yeah, that's more raw me.
That's you. You got to remember, I've seen you on a basketball court. That's you.
Me playing music is in this.
That's you. That's raw. That's you being allowed to do.
Would you say this is me?
You want to do.
Would you say
is you?
This is me?
Yes,
this is probably as me as you get.
This is absolutely you. And that was not you. Because you were under the most direction you were under. You were in a leading role.
You mean the most recent one, the Marblehead one?
Yes.
Yeah, I was the lead actor.
And you were being directed.
Yep.
Period. That's not you on stage that I have seen often.
No, he directed me straight up to the way I walked. He wanted me to walk different.
No, and I could kind of tell because you were very thoughtful about all your body mechanics.
I sword fought on screen.
From the small movements to some of the big movements. That would be my biggest criticism.
That's my weakest part as an actor is my movement. I'm a good
knowing what to do with like your hands, maybe not so much, but like where to stand and how to sway.
I'm not bad with the tone of what I say to make things emotionally come out, but I don't know what to do with my body. I don't.
There wasn't any delivery problems. There wasn't any even like.
Was the sword? Did I look awkward with the? Did I look awkward with the sword fighting?
Well, you both kind of looked awkward with the sword fight. You both looked like you didn't want to hurt each other.
No.
And that was fine for the performance that it was. Nobody was expecting fucking Errol Flynn or fucking
Princess Bride.
Carrie Ewell's Princess Bride. I know I went so far down the road with Errol Flynn. It looked like Errol Flynn. Didn't look like
Joe, I don't want to make this all self-satisfying, but as we start to wrap things up, I think we got one more super chat where we said Phil is a failure of Nick Cage level. I think that's probably pretty accurate. We'll get one more super chat.
Definitely not accurate.
Definitely accurate. Have you seen Dune yet, Joe?
Yes, of course I have.
Did you like you're a Dune fan? I believe you've read the books, right?
I have. I've read the first book. I read Dune.
Were you a fan of the new movie?
I really enjoyed the first movie.
Oh, the David Lynch film.
The David Lynch film.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. There's some history behind the David Lynch film.
Did you wait before I go? Have you seen the new one yet?
Yes.
Okay.
On night one. Yes. I watched that shit as soon. That was
now
my birthday.
Just quick before you say thumbs up or thumbs down. Yeah, me too. Great movie.
Like, and I was even a fan of the first. And here's the thing: that came out in like a 6-hour version and a movie version, which was like 2 hours, and then like a 3-hour version, and like a lot of that stuff got lost in a fire back in the day in MGM or some shit like that. And now there's only the movie version, the 2-hour theatrical cut that's like still floating around, and I still happen to really enjoy it. But this one, I think, did a lot better in a lot of ways. The constant narration that David Lynch puts in that movie of Atreides talking in his own fucking head and shit, Paul talking in his own head, is very... We don't know if you can understand that he's supposed to be in pain, so we have him tell you he's supposed to be in pain. We don't know if you're going to understand that he, by his acting, is going to be able to make you think he's paying attention to this or looking at that or whatever it is. So they have him like this constant narration of thought in his own head that we hear as the audience that is very off-putting, that they remove from this movie in a large bulk, and they fill that in with actual acting.
Yes, with showing, not telling.
Right. And I think they did it very well.
Yeah, as Anna says, the cinematography is beyond my wildest dreams.
And then there's that, like the pictures of the massive spaceships, and it's done so very well. I really enjoyed it. I was a little bummed to find out they hadn't filmed part 2 yet.
But there is going to be a part 2. They already announced there's a part 2. It was almost a refreshing
movie until after it got released.
In the era that we're in with all these fast-moving, almost assembly line superhero movies, it was very refreshing too. The way it built, the way it took, the way it brought you into the world. It's a
very slow-paced movie.
Yeah, and I loved it though. I love that in this era where we're just very like bang 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 bang, like assembly line, everything has to be similar and blah blah blah. It stuck out, and it showed that a big epic movie doesn't have to be this by numbers superhero type movie, that even the movies that aren't superhero movies, like the sci-fi ones, still follow that same formula. This did not follow that formula, and it still hit a fucking home run. And that's what I really love about it.
Did a real good job in world building. Now, there was some parts that I think people found confusing. I know Katie did, with so the Emperor orders the Harkonnen off the planet and the Atreides on the planet, but then backs the Harkonnen to then go attack the Atreides. Why would he do that? And the answer was because the Atreides even say it themselves. They're getting a lot of their power is building with all the other houses. They're having a large voice. What they say, people are listening to and backing. They also have a large military force that they've been able to conquer a couple planets with, won their home world, with air power and land and sea power. And that's a threat to the Emperor. Also a threat to the Emperor is the Harkonnens making all this money through spice. They're the biggest spice trader. They make millions and millions and millions. They make a lot more than the Emperor at this point. So what he's doing is he's taking, get the fuck off the planet. You guys come in. You're going to be mining now. Then he has them both fight each other. It weakens both houses. Mm-hmm. Even though he's going to back the Harkonnens and put them back in the spice mining business, he's going to weaken them significantly, where they're going to have to spend a bunch of that money that they've built up just to get back to where they are now, leaving their coffers empty and the Emperor in a more powerful position. And nobody likes the Harkonnens, so nobody's going to listen to them. The Atreides will be gone, and they won't have any, and nobody will have their ear. They won't be whispering in anyone else's ear.
Very well put together movie, and I'm looking forward to the sequel. Couple more things before we call this a night. Phil, speaking of good horror, Heredity and Midsommar are great, especially Midsommar. It's beautiful. The backstory of Dune would be impossible to cover in a movie. Wish Denis Villeneuve even. Not sure. wish they would do a series. I mean, it is tough in this era where we get these long series that really explain stuff. You could almost do all the Dune movies and then also do a few series that fill in the gaps and stuff between the movies and do these like detailed.
Oh, dude, I really wouldn't have minded if they had said fuck doing a movie and just taken all the source
and done a whole series. It could have
chronological series.
It could have really
the
worked.
The earliest history of these civilization to like the end of the books, and just did it chronological. You'd get like at least 8-9 seasons, good 10 episode seasons, and you'd be able to do the whole fucking run. It would have been magnificently world build. It would have been on the lines of, especially if you followed the fucking story, it would have been along the lines of Game of Thrones level epic sci-fi drama.
I agree. I mean,
the fucking, like, this would be the shit everybody would be watching.
I am excited.
All the elements of it.
I'm excited. The movie was good, so it's good to see a movie that I'm excited about a sequel and getting into more of this. So one more thing I want to say, because I didn't actually answer the question. Someone asked if I liked the first episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm. I did. I haven't seen episode 2 yet. I feel like number 1 was still getting its rhythm a little bit, but it was good to see Albert Brooks. I feel like if we're talking about forgotten about talents, Albert Brooks is on that list too. He's a fucking hilarious fucking guy. If you haven't seen Defending Your Life, which is him and Meryl Streep, good movie. A lot of good Albert Brooks movies, but
that's a great movie.
But that's a really great movie. If you just want to get Albert Brooks in a nutshell, that's a good movie to kind of just get a feel for who he is as a comedian. So, and it's good to see him on Curb. It's one of those things that it's like about time. It's good that they're doing one more season of Curb, just because getting someone like Albert Brooks on, just like you had Mel Brooks on one season, you had the Seinfeld cast on one season, you had all these people that should be part of Curb. But I thought, I laughed a bunch of times out loud. I'm excited for it. I always enjoy Larry David, the continuing adventures of George Costanza, and I understand that Larry David's not for everybody. My friend Tori, who I hang out with a lot, hates Larry David. She can't even like look at Larry David. She's like, I fucking hate this guy. But I cannot get enough Larry fucking David. I feel like Larry David most times in life. What was that, Joe? You're muted, I think, or I can't hear you for whatever reason.
I am muted because I was chewing apple. You are supposed to hate Larry David. That's the whole point.
That's the point. Yeah, but I feel like I'm more Larry David than I should be in real life.
The thing is I don't dislike the show. I think there's a lot of funny things about Curb Your Enthusiasm, especially the first few seasons. But I'm with her. I don't want to watch someone being a dick all the fucking time.
Yeah, she's just like, I'm done.
I don't find that like.
I love it.
I couldn't watch The Office because I find too many of them to be dicks.
No, I hear you. Is that what do you like not like Arrested Development for the same reason?
No, that shit was fucking hilarious. That shit was just absolutely fucking hilarious. Left and right, yes, they're all pretty much dicks, but like the humor in it is so much more over the fucking top funny. Like every time they go do a fucking chicken dance, every fucking time they call someone a chicken. What are you, a chicken? Bah! Bah!
I
a fucking chicken, dude.
I love.
And none of them can do a fucking chicken.
I love all the magic stuff. Will Arnett's. I mean, you know how I feel about BoJack and Will Arnett in general. Like, I think he's a fucking amazing. But getting back to Curb, I just, as Jackie C says, I'm the same. I just love Larry. Larry to me is he's more lovable than George Costanza, but he's not that far off. And I enjoy the continuing adventures of Larry David, and his chemistry that he has with JB Smoove is incredible. And there's a lot of lives to Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's existed in a lot.
Who's the big guy that's on that show?
Jeff Garlin.
I love him.
He's a funny guy. He's on the Goldbergs as well. He plays the dad on the Goldbergs.
He's got a movie out with the girl from with one of the girls from Orange is the New Black, the one that's in that Down and Out in Beverly Hills.
Oh, yeah. Yep, totally. People in the live chat, I love Curb, but Seinfeld I find annoying. Larry is cool, but the world full of dicks laugh. Super Mellow Yellow 420, Seinfeld is the best show ever on television. I more agree with Super Mellow. It's one of my favorite. If we were making a quick without doing it for real top 5 sitcoms of all time, Seinfeld would easily be in the top 5 for me.
Not for me.
For me, quickly, it would be Cheers, Seinfeld, Frasier, does Arrested Development count?
Yeah.
Does Scrubs count?
Why wouldn't Arrested Development count?
Does Scrubs count?
Of course Scrubs count.
Okay, so Scrubs, Arrested Development, Cheers, Frasier, and Seinfeld. That's my top 5.
Well, Cheers, MASH.
Good pick. Cheers, MASH.
Wait, you said another one too.
Frasier,
No.
Arrested Development.
What was the other ones? One of
Arrested
the first ones you said.
Development, Frasier, Cheers, Seinfeld, and
You said Scrubs.
Scrubs.
No, you didn't say it this time, but Cheers and MASH for sure. And then from there, I'd really have to think about what counted as like the animes count.
No, I'm talking about live action sitcoms.
Live action sitcoms. Oh God. Top 5.
Yep.
Jesus. That's all I got for you. Cheers and MASH.
Cheers and MASH. Okay. That's.
I know Seinfeld's not.
Oh,
on there.
How I Met Your Mother almost makes it for me in that list,
Almost.
but
No, the ending kills it.
yeah,
The ending fucking throws it off,
at
and I
one
can't
point in
watch any
time.
of it now.
At one point in time, How I Met Your Mother might have had that Scrubs spot for me, but not anymore.
See, and Scrubs ended fucking poorly enough.
Scrubs
too,
ended
that-
awesome. Fuck that 9th season. That was a spinoff. Scrubs ended beautifully with my finale. That was a perfect finale to that fucking show.
All right.
That
Yeah,
ninth,
no,
that was a
what
spin-off that they were afraid to call a spin-off. It was a new show. Martin is definitely an underrated. Night Court is another underrated show.
Martin?
I love Martin. Martin's an
Martin is awful. It's one of the worst fucking shows ever. That's right up there with fucking Family Matters.
Your takes suck tonight. Martin's awesome. Night Court is another really underrated series. I think that show is awesome.
I think Night Court might be up there. I haven't watched it in a really long time, so I don't know if it stands.
Jesse picked All in the Family, the Jeffersons.
All in the Family. See, and that's why I didn't want to continue because I knew I'd be missing something. All in the Family is
Golden Girls. I would
top
auction
5.
if I'm making a top 10. All in the Family, the Golden Girls.
Might be top 5 also.
Oh, Golden Girls might be number fucking 1 for me, really. Like when it really comes down to it, like because that killed the sitcom thing in a lot of ways. But it's
Roseanne was fucking amazing.
Roseanne at the top of its game was really fucking awesome. I said the Jeffersons, all the spin-offs from All in the Family were fucking incredible. I'm not a fan of MASH. I know people love it. I know I never could get into MASH. I would also put, even though it didn't last too long, The Honeymooners for what it was and I Love Lucy deserve honorable mentions.
I was going to also say, like, even what's his name there? Dick Van Dyke Show.
You said Dick Van Dyke.
Some of those old shows are really good.
Newhart,
really
the Bob
good.
Newhart Show, Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Yeah, both the Newharts.
Yep. Golden Girls is definitely up there too. So these are all sort of like quick thought lists. But Home Improvement, Tim, was hilarious. Some of those shows were great of the age. So I think maybe this is something we can do in the future instead of, because Joe has a little bit more of a dog in this fight rather than doing horror movies. We'll do a favorite sitcom.
I'm like, I don't even want to answer because I know there's so many I'm not thinking of. I have to go through my decade.
Do you want to do that next week, next Sunday?
Because I tell you, the top sitcom in almost any decade is going to be better than your number 2 for any decade. Like number 1 of the 50s, right?
Honeymooners.
If you actually pick a number 1 from the 50s, I think that might be earlier. It might be the 50s,
no.
Right? Like, you know that everything they did led to anything in any other decade, right? So, like, you can't say number 2 in that decade is better because fucking it all comes, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Now next week we might talk about this more, but I do want to make mention that a couple people said this in the live chat. Underrated, forgotten about show, and mainly because the minute you
Dinosaurs?
said No, great show though. Great show, Dynasty.
Awful fucking show.
I love Dynasty. Fuck you, Joe. Fuck you in all your opinions tonight. Coach was a really good show.
That was great. Dauber was amazing.
But it wasn't because
brother was in
no, and because when you said Dick Van Dyke, it made me think of Coach because of how good Jerry Van Dyke was as the assistant coach on Coach. He could
have been Coach in Cheers.
Yeah, he was the best part of that show. Dauber was great, and Greg T. Nelson was great, but Jerry Van Dyke stole every episode of Coach in like a crazy, amazing way. But
worst part about that show was the daughter. Everything else was absolutely fantastic.
Next week, I want to really dig into sitcoms with you, and I'm going to battle you on dinosaurs and Mama's Family. Someone said Mama's. Oh no, not the
Mama's Family was good.
Mama's Family was a really great show. And someone said not the Mama Joe. See, I love fuck you. We'll save this for next week, everybody. We're getting.
I know you love dinosaurs. That's why I kind of brought it up.
Yeah, because you're an asshole. Like that show used the technology used in the Ninja Turtles movie, that high tech sort of shit in like intellectual fun scripts that were also very funny. Oh, you're awful.
Awful intellectual fun scripts for a 12-year-old.
It wasn't for a fucking 12. It was an adult show.
It's awful.
Oh, your opinions are awful.
You know what other show you sucked that you really liked? Comedy sitcom like that?
What?
That fucking movie with Lily's dad there, that show, The Paperboy.
Oh, Get a Life. That show was the shit, dude.
Oh, horrible. That's what that was a shit.
Oh, it was bad.
Show.
Dude, it was bad. That like Herman's Head and Joe's Apartment. I loved all those fucking early shows. Dream On. That dude, I'll give you that. Get a Life sucked, but I loved it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you could say that all about that dude's career. What's that guy's name? His movie too. Where he's the ship boy.
Watch out! Not the ship boy, the shoe boy, the shoe sniffer.
No,
With all those zits.
Yeah, what the fuck's the name of that?
Something about Mary.
Not something about Mary, but there's a movie he actually wrote and direct where it's on a boat. He's what the fuck's it called? Dinosaurs was the show. It was fucking big. Swordstone says Frasier is better than Cher's brilliant show. It's arguable. Like I'm not gonna. We could do a whole episode here on which show's better because both shows are great. But
Swordstone might be right.
Frasier might be a better, well-written show from beginning to end. Because Cheers was two different shows, and neither were excessively amazing. Both were really good. Frasier was the same show all the way through, and it was excellently written. Excellently written.
Here's the thing. The reason why I say Sword is right, but Cheers makes my top 5. Frasier might not. Because Frasier doesn't exist without Cheers.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
The character doesn't exist. The show never gets made.
Cabin Boy.
It's never a spin-off.
Fucking Thank you, Chalk Boy. Chalk Boy and I got it at the same time. Cabin Boy. I love Cabin Boy.
I don't remember it enough.
You hate Chris Elliott, though. And this is the comedy subjective thing. I find Chris Elliott, like the minute I see Chris Elliott, I laugh. And
I don't hate Chris Elliott.
And you hate Chris Elliott. You do.
No, I think he's fucking hilarious. I think he's one of the best parts of Something About Mary. Like all the way through every scene.
You just hate Get a Life.
In How I Met Your Mother, I thought he was great in that role.
As Lily's dad, yes.
He was one of the original writers for Conan O'Brien. Like he's one of his original fucking show writers. Not Conan O'Brien, David Letterman.
He's scary funny. He's an intelligent, hilarious, funny guy.
Super intelligent. I like, and super fucking funny. Like I just don't think he really has a big enough. I don't think he's good enough to lead anything.
Yeah. And in fairness, Joe, you know what? Neither am I. And I'm kidding. So, everybody, thank you so much for joining us tonight. This was a lot of fun. Joe said this before we started. Sometimes it's good to just come out here and babble when we don't necessarily have anything to say because it's not like we don't have anything to talk about. This is, so we'll be back next week to hopefully do this again and talking about sitcoms. I don't want to go too far down that line, but I'll get a list of some of the top sitcoms. Maybe we'll get like IMDb's top 50, 25, 50, whatever it is, like sitcom list, and go through
Rotten
our
Tomatoes or something.
Yeah, and go through our opinions of each one, something like that. But that's what we'll do next week. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Happy Halloween. We talked about Dune. We talked about Squid Game. We talked about some of our favorite horror movies, and we bullshitted and babbled and told a lot of way too serious stories about our lives. You guys have been amazing tonight. A lot of faces and a lot of voices that we haven't seen in a while. You guys' super chats got us drunk as hell, and we always appreciate that. I will be back this Wednesday on Teflon TV to talk with Tony in Bridge 4, and I may be on sooner than that with a Random Alone stream during the week too. And definitely make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Follow us here on YouTube. Love you guys. We'll talk to you guys next time. Later.